We welcome you live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Season number 4 race from the Watkins Glen International. We're live at the Glen, and this is race number 14 of the Cup Series season, and season number 4, just like I said. So we're back. It's the second road course race of the year, and this is Watkins Glen International in Watkins Glen, New York, ready to finish up Watkins Glen week in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League. So, of course, had the Xfinity Series last night. What a race that was. Alexander Ortega ended up going to victory lane. Will actually be making his third career Cup start after winning in Nashville last week. So we'll see Alexander Ortega on track tonight here at Watkins Glen for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. Alright, the Cup Series back once again. 5 races before the playoffs. We got a lot to go over tonight. We'll go over your playoff grid once the session goes up. Half-hour warm-up session. Then we got 10 minutes of open qualifying, just like at all road courses. And then we head to the race. It's going to be, of course, 50 laps. Halfway right to the end of lap number 25. And it's the 4th time the Cup Series has visited Watkins Glen in its history. And we're going to be on the way at the Watkins Glen International in just a few moments here. Tonight from the Glen. First, like I said, 14th race of the Cup Series season, and we are live at the Glen for the second road course race of the year. What a star-studded field we're going to have tonight. So many road course ringers that are obviously also good on ovals, but they're so good on road courses. Drivers like Matthew White, Aiden Donahue, Richard Cherry, Alexander Ortega, and much, much more going for the win tonight in Watkins Glen. All right, here we go. Going to be underway for the warm-up session in just a couple of moments here at the Glen. Of course, Watkins Glen, it's Watkins Glen week in the real NASCAR series, so all Watkins Glen throughout real NASCAR and, of course, the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League, and then the Cup Series race tonight, I should say, live in the Glen. Will be underway in the warm-up session in just about 30 or so seconds. Stay tuned. From Watkins Glen International, NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series action is coming up. Ready to get racing at the Glen. Watkins Glen, New York, like I've said a million times this week. And we are just about live here tonight. From the Glen. Just one quick second. We'll get you underway here tonight. Cars are on the racetrack for the half-hour warm-up session tonight from Watkins Glen International. Pick her up real quick, and we'll be live. All right. Of course, like I said, second road course race of the year. Just an issue with the ticker here. Just one quick second. There we go. Like I said, once again, second road course race of season number 4 in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. Here we go. We are live at the Glen. All right, welcome live to Watkins Glen International here in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. Cars are on the racetrack. Here's the 71 of Cole Clausen rocketing his way down this backstretch at the Glen. Who's paint scheme for him this week? NYPD. His teammate Ethan McMillan's going to be running a similar paint scheme. It's also New York police departments, but I think it's like more of a state police theme for Ethan McMillan as Clausen hits through here. There's the 12 of Trenton Wilkin. He's had a good season. Currently sits inside the playoffs, as he will go a little bit wide. Bunch of gravel already on the racetrack here, as Wilkin heads down the front stretch here at the Glen. All right, warm-up session underway. There's the 82. He is back, Aiden Donahue. And man, of course, has a win this season at the Southern 500 at Darlington. New Cup Series starts this season. And we got to talk about the battle from last season between him, Matthew White, and Richard Cherry. Unbelievable all race long there. And we look for more of the same tonight. Of course, Donahue ended up third in that race. Cameron Chandler, he crashes. What will he be able to do tonight? Here's the 28 of Alexander Ortega. Of course, won in the Xfinity Series last night here at the Glen. His first career Xfinity Series win, finally, as he rolls down this front straightaway in the 28 car for Chandler Wilson Racing. And back into one he will go. So far, top of the board, Matthew White. Here's the 0-1 of Jamie McKinney coming on track. He was also in the Watkins Glen Xfinity race last night, ran top 10 for a majority of the day. Here is Matthew White, new paint scheme here, heading down the back straightaway. Looks similar to Aiden Donahue, so hopefully you don't get them too confused. Cameron Chandler running through the grass. The 99 here is Payson Lindsay, of course. Let's take a look at your playoff cut line entering tonight at the Glen. So, of course, White, Chandler, both locked into the playoffs now. Just 19 points separate them for the regular season championship. Then we go back to the cut line. Cole Clausen just plus 11. Sean Hillquist just plus 6. Connor Haverilla on that cut line just plus 5. Joseph Tucker, he is minus 5 to the cut line. He's actually going to be suspended for this race in the next week at Indianapolis because of his actions intentionally crashing Cameron Chandler at Nashville. Payson Lindsay enters minus 7 to the good. He crashes here in the warm-up session. Matt Grab is minus 11. Andrew Stacy 16th in points, minus 15. So that's still all possible for these drivers to do that. Also, we're going to be taking you through radio style here in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series at Watkins Glen once again for the second straight season, I believe. Radio style. We had it last night in the Xfinity Series with Cole Clausen and Landon Johnson. Tonight, we're going to have me having first half of the track, and Eli Franklin, Xfinity Series driver, having the second half of the racetrack. He's also the guy that makes some of our graphics. He's actually made this points graphic, so we, of course, thank him for all of his hard work as of late. As cars on the racetrack, about 21 minutes still to go. Just getting started in this Watkins Glen warm-up session. There's the 99 of Payson Lindsay heading through the bus stop. Red Bull paint scheme for him this week. Ahead of him with 36 of William Reagan. Of course, he has gained good points as of late. Currently sits inside the playoffs. But it's a road course. So many road course ringers for tonight, though. You look at the top four already. White, Benton, Cherry, Donahue. They're going to be so good all night long. Even look at the top. Bryce Benton, Matthew White. That is how close it is. Let's have, hundredths of a second. Here's Matthew White down the front straightaway. Here's the 0-1 of Jamie McKinney, underrated road course racer. Ran pretty well in the Xfinity race last night. Here comes Connor Haverilla on the playoff cut line, of course. Needs a good run today. Currently 12th in points, plus 5, like we said. And here's Alexander Ortega rocketing down the back straightaway in the 28. Max DiFilippi in his second career Cup Series start in that 87. Racing for the newly formed Track Speed Racing, new formed part-time Cup team. Here's John Butler down the back straightaway in that 09. Once again, second good season in a row. Currently sits inside the playoffs. Pretty good above the cut line. We'll take a look at that real quick, what the cut line is actually looking like. For him, he's plus 60 to the good, 7 points. He's been so consistent all season long. A lot of top 10s this year. Another driver that's been so consistent all season long is the 79 of Ashton Miller. We're going to actually try to find him real quick. There's Andrew Stacy. There's Cole Wilson. A lot of new paint schemes will go over some of them. But of course, can't find Ashton Miller. Oh, there he is. And then 79. Go bowling on a car. Oh, he's going to flip. Oh, my God. Through the gravel he goes upside down. Lord. My goodness. Horrible, horrible crash for Ashton Miller. But like I was saying, he has the most top 10s in the Cup Series this season. I know this is kind of a shocking stat, but Ashton Miller leads the Cup Series in top 10s this year. He's had a really good year. Here is Jacob Clarino in one of his part-time Cup starts. For his full-time in the Xfinity Series, Zane Donnie makes his way to the bus stop. So will William Reagan. Here's the 7 of Matthew White. And here's the 8 and 1 of Sean Hilquich. Was sitting outside the playoffs a few weeks ago. Had some good weeks. Had winning speed in Nashville until he had a late race issue that took him out of it. Had a contention for the win, I should say, but currently sits above the playoff cut line. Looking to continue that momentum with 5 races left to go in this Cup Series regular season. Not even halfway through this warm-up session. All right. Quick second. And now spinning, there is the 81 of Sean Hilquich around. Here's Alexander Ortega ahead of him. There's the 40 of Dylan Banks. Has 1 win this season. It came 2 weeks ago at Iowa. Of course, then last week at Nashville, after that 1 win on the year. He actually had to miss the race because of personal issues, unfortunately. The 48 team pulled out of that event. They are back here in Watkins, Glen, luckily, and they'll be continuing on their journey. The points pretty solid with the playoff cut line. Dylan Banks currently 6th in points, but the defending series champion. Alexander Ortega at the top of the board. What a lap by him after winning the Xfinity race last night. Banks to 4th, not bad for him. Not really known as a road course racer. Here is Richard Cherry to the bus stop, currently 7th. He is so good at Watkins Glen. Fortunately had issues last night in the Xfinity race. Got taken out early. Same thing with Cole Wilson. Here's Diego Rodriguez heading down the back straightaway. In that 80 or 11 car, I should say. So now to the inside goes Richard Cherry of Sean Hilquich in the 81. Hilquich slides around a bit, and he'll get around. Here's Connor Haverilla. Got to have a good night today. He wants to keep himself inside that playoff cut line. Definitely looking for good speed all around tonight at the Glen. He will go wide into the wall. He will go for Connor Haverilla. All right. Here is Ethan McMillan on pit road currently. No main scheme for him this week. Of course, like I said, New York State Police, I believe. Pacer Lindsay back into turn number 1. Of course, 50 laps at the Glen tonight is really going wide as John Butler can't really do that. As Matt Crabb, he's had a kind of a rough year. Currently sits 15th in points, minus 11 in the cut line. Still in contention, though. Still in fighting distance with 5 races to go before the playoffs. But, you know, don't really know him as a great road course racer, unfortunately, for Matt Crabb. Now let's go over your remaining races. Of course, we'll have racing 5 of the next 6 weeks. We have an off week between Kansas and Daytona. But, of course, tonight, this regular season race is remaining. Tonight, we have Watkins Glen, of course. Then we had next week's the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Cup Series. Big event there for our Crown Jewel races. Down the backstretch. Car crash this Pace and Lindsay around. But then we, of course, head to the Richmond Raceway, a short track, third race before the playoffs. Then we go to Kansas Speedway, second to last race before the regular season comes to the close. And once again, for the 4th straight season, Daytona is our regular season finale. And that's going to be one heck of a race, especially if we have close playoff cut line battles and a close battle between the regular season championship, as we got Connor Esbel heading down the back straightaway. Of course, he's had a rough year. He still hasn't win this season, but currently sits outside the top 15 in points. Still Ortega, White, Benson, Chandler, Banks, your top 5. 4 of those 5 drivers have wins this season. The other one probably should, which is Bryce Benson. So close to so many wins this year, including last week at Nashville. So close to the win. Alexander Ortega, though, unfortunately for as Donahue goes to second over, he of course has wins this season. So now, wow, the top 6 have Victor. Oh my God, as Connor Aswell flips. And of course, talking about last week, there's the 9 of Bryce Benton. Was so close to yet another Cup Series win, but just slipped away in the closing laps. Lost the lead from Alexander Ortega. We know he's pretty solid at these road courses. What can he do today? Currently sits 3rd in points, grabbed 3rd place in the point standings away from Braden Hunsicker. Car crash, that's Ashton Miller. Here's Peyton Lindsay in the 99. And here's Matthew White. Of course, he's had 2 bad races in a row. Crashed out early in Nashville last week. And then, of course, in Iowa, finished 12th. As he goes to the top of the board, 2:10 snap by Ortega. He's been switching around all over the place who's fastest. So times are ramping up even more at the Glen. Jacob Clarino heads down the back straightaway, heading to the bus stop. Here's Trenton Wilkin in that 12 car. Still looking for some solid results. He's currently 14th on the board, so we know him as a decent road course racer. So yeah, like we were saying with Trenton Wilkin, currently Trenton sits above the playoff cut line. He is 8th in points, plus 36. He had a terrible start to the year, was outside the playoffs, then really ramped it up. Bunch of second place finishes in a row, so many stage points as well. That was including ETR's 3 straight Cup Series wins, which was absolutely incredible. Of course, they lost that streak at Nashville, but 3 straight Cup Series wins with 3 different drivers. They're going to regain it tonight at the Glen. We'll be right back. About 12 minutes remaining in this warm-up session from Watkins Glen International. Cameron Chandler now through the bus stop. He's currently 4th on the board. Welcome back live for the Watkins Glen International. What a stacked field we have tonight. So many great road course drivers. Even a lot of our full-time Cup Series drivers are so good at road courses. Matthew White, of course, probably the best. We said this last night in the Xfinity race, but Matthew White has the lap record. I know this isn't Sonoma, but he does have the lap record in the next gen at Sonoma Raceway, which is unbelievable. And he's got so much contention here. Ortega is so quick, so is Donahue, Chandler, Benton, Banks, Cheery, Miller. They could all be up here. Trent Wilkin just went to 11th on the board. Matthew White looking for his 3rd win of the season. Still your points leader, but he hasn't won in a few months. Back-to-back wins, race 2 and race 3. Now heading to race 14. So here's Cole Wilson, new paint scheme this week, Mountain Dew on board. The 22. Kinda like it, green Mountain Dew. Here's John Butler back in a 1 and 2, back in a 1. And there's the 71 of Cole Clausen. Really liking this paint scheme as he will crash, but really, really clean paint scheme for Cole Clausen in NYPD. He currently sits plus 11 to the good on the playoffs. Going to need a good next 5 weeks to try to make it for the 4th straight season. All right, so of course still about 20 minutes to go in this warm-up session at the Glen. And there's the 82 of Aiden Donahue. Here is Jacob Clarino through the inner loop. Still a car you get to put down a time here, or one of the cars you have to put down a time here in the warm-up session is Braden Hunsicker, so he hasn't been on track yet. Kind of surprised by that. Just down the back stretch goes that 33 of Jacob Clarino. I mean, this is really tough for drivers like Joseph Tucker being suspended for 2 weeks. This would have been a good opportunity. Only was minus 5 to the good. He got 13th in points, so couldn't have had a good day, but he's going to be suspended for 2 weeks now. We'll lose a lot of points because of that. And going to make it really tough with just 3 races to go to the playoffs when he comes back to make it. You never know. Crazier things have happened. Is Chandler going to go wide and into the wall, just move down to 5th. As Dylan Banks goes to 4th on the board. Here's Logan Giesbrecht. Oh, he's hard on the wall. Actually, early in the year, Logan Giesbrecht was absolutely cooking with his results. He was in the playoffs, unfortunately, at bottom 20 in points. Outside the top 20 in points, so it's been a good stretch of races for him since race 4 or 5 earlier in the season. Here's William Reagan. Complete opposite story. Started off the season outside the playoffs for the first maybe 8 or so races. Then won a stage at Michigan. Then all of a sudden kicked it off, multiple top 10s. He's really ramped up some good results as of late. Cherry goes to 2nd quarter, taking out down to 3rd, about a 10th and a half off Matthew White, though. Here's Andrew Stacy, currently, of course, 15th in the standings. He's had an okay Cup Series rookie season. For more. I mean, of course, we still got so many different track types coming up. We got a road course tonight in Watkins, Glen. 2.5 mile, not super speedway, but kind of Michigan-esque oval. I guess that's as close as you can get at Indianapolis. A short track at Richmond, 1.5 miles at Kansas, and then a super speedway at Daytona. 5 different track types in these next 6 weeks before the playoffs. So many things could happen. So many new drivers could put their name into the playoff grid. You never know what can happen in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. Even that close in the Xfinity Series as well. Even talking about the Xfinity Series team owner standing is now tied for the Xfinity Team Motors points between Team Chevy Motor Club and Chandler Wilson Racing. Highline Motorsports has the Cup Series lead right now. Of course, Chandler Wilson Racing has 4 wins in the season. They did get the tiebreaker. Here is, I almost said Connor Zilish. Here is Max DeFilippi heading down the front straightaway with Ethan McMillan in his tire tracks. Not too bad for Ethan McMillan, 19th on the board so far. Kind of not bad. Who's now meeting one of DeFilippi will crash. Got to talk about the amount of parity there's been in both the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series. I know some drivers have won both Cup and Xfinity this year, but combined there are 18 different winners for Cup and Xfinity. 10 in Cup in the first 13 races, and 8 in Xfinity in the first 11 races. Of course, full-time drivers, most wins in the year in the Cup Series are Matthew White and Braden Hunsaker with 2 apiece. And we have still so many drivers that could even put their name in victory lane pretty soon. You gotta think about, especially Bryce Benson, Matt Grab, Ashton Miller could be here as well. These are even would be full of first-time winners. John Butler, he's been really good. As of like Cole Clausen still could get the victory lane. You never know about him. Richard Cherry even maybe tonight, currently 2nd on the board to Matthew White. So we got 6 minutes to go in practice. Ooh, contact here between Wilkin and White, heading into turn number 1. Wilkin almost gonna spin. Still yet to see Braden Hunsaker on the racetrack. I'm honestly shocked by that. Don't know why he's staying in the garage for so long. There's Cole Wilson, there's Ortega. I don't know if Hunsaker's actually even on pit road. I don't think he is. He's here, obviously. I don't exactly know where. Here's Ortega up through the inner loop. Racing here now, Ashton Miller and the 12 of Trenton Wilkin. They go down this backstretch. Heading to the bus stop now. Of course, 10 minutes open qualifying. That's coming up next. Here from the Watkins Glen International. Decent warm-up session so far. Drivers trying to learn a little bit. There's Cameron Chandler behind these two in the 8th car. He heads down the back straightaway. We're actually going to ride along with the lap, fully silent, I should say, with Cameron Chandler in the 8th. as he comes down the front straightaway. 3.5 minutes to go in this warm-up session. Pretty clean lap time there for Cameron. Still going to stay third on the board. Top 6 separated by only 0.3 of a second, which is not even, that's so close at a road course. Watkins Glen, I mean, that's incredible. I told you there's going to be so much parity in road course drivers tonight. I was not lying. My goodness. It is going to be so close at the front all day long. Like, it looks like we're at a short track or a mile and a half right now with the deficits between the top 6. 0.3 of a second. And I can even throw Bryce Benton's name into there. Ashton Miller, Jamie McKinney, maybe. You never know. Oh, is Cameron Chandler going to spin and hit the wall hard? Still yet to be on track, like I said, once again, Braden Hunsicker. And it's kind of an interesting moment there. As to the inside goes Jamie McKinney on 22nd place, Ethan McMillan. Sometimes I was going to check. I was actually checking if he had the cameras for the, or stickers for the camera. He doesn't, unfortunately. Sometimes MNF Racing does that. It's kind of cool touch. The onboard cameras, but they don't this week. Here's Payson Lindsay. It's currently 11th on the board. It's not too bad. Oh, hard on the wall, Dylan Banks behind him in that 48, ahead of his affiliated teammate William Reagan. Reagan will go wide and slip and slide around just a bit. There's Payson Lindsay into turn number 1. Oh, as he's going to spin out. Round goes Payson Lindsay. Jacob Torino coming on track as well. There was the 82 of Aiden Donahue. And there's the 7 of Matthew White. Aiden Donahue currently 5th on the board. Here's White, current leader in practice, heading down the back straightaway. I mean, that's a my God, 0.3 of a second between the top 6. That's just a little bit of a slip up, like a tiny slip up, not even anything big or anything. There's me the hood flying. I believe that was Rodriguez's. Final minute here in practice. Qualifying, coming up next we'll have Eli Franklin in the booth pretty soon as well. Just waiting on him. Braden Hunsicker is having connection issues. He's doing everything he can to try to join this session. I've tried to join, what, 3, 4, 5, 6 times? My goodness. It's not going to plan for Braden Hunsicker so far. Here is Bryce Benton heading down this back straightaway. All right. That will about do it. About 20 seconds to go in this warm-up session. There's Alexander Ortega, currently 3rd, and of course your Xfinity winner from a night ago. It'll be probably one of the favorites to win tonight. Not really thought as a road course ringer, but really showing speed this week. Checker flag in the air. Practice is over at the Glen. Oh, is Cole Clausen going to hit the wall? Qualifying is coming up next at the Watkins Glen International. Time to qualify for this 50-lap Watkins Glen race. Of course, 10 minutes open qualifying, all cars on the racetrack at the same time. That's how it works at all road courses. And here we go from the Glen. Lots and lots of cars, over 25 cars going to be on the racetrack here at the same time. I mean, you got to get some separation here from each other. Whoever pulled that first, that was the 7 of Matthew White, was right on the button to get into this qualifying session. As he heads through the inner loop, now down this back straightaway, was fastest in practice. What can he do here in quali? Behind him is Alexander Ortega trying to warm up tires another Ford Mustang is Cole Clausen. There is Cameron Chandler. 79 of Ashton Miller, the 81 of Sean Milkwich. There is Richard Cherry in the 29. First Toyota, that is Dylan Banks with the Owen McKinney, Andrew Stacy. There is the 09 of John Butler as well. More cars, Jacob Clarino and Cole Wilson. Teammates at Chandler Wilson Racing. Their CWR has 3 entries tonight. Wilson, Clarino, and Ortega. Here is Richard Cherry heading down the back straightaway. Car got in the wall with Ashton Miller ever so slightly. And here comes Matthew White on his first time lap, heading into turn number 1. Of course, qualifying times will ramp up even more. There's Cole Clausen, there is Cameron Chandler. Ashton Miller has Chandler kind of in his way, but there are similar speeds in practice. Here comes Logan. He's been on the track. Richard Cherry, not really too much traffic ahead of him. We got some racing back here. This is not what you want to do, especially for drivers like Andrew Stacy, the 81 of Sean Hillquist. They're side by side on their qualifying lap. So, of course, you got as many laps to do it as you need. I don't know why my Tigger is being weird, but hey. Times aren't showing up just yet. We're going to see if that. See if that ultimately ends up showing up. Hopefully it does. There's Ashton Miller. Here comes Andrew Stacy. Is now the 71 of Cole Clausen pulls off. Here's Alexander Ortega out the front straightaway. I don't know where Braden Hunsaker is. I believe he's trying to get on the track here for qualifying. We'll see if he can do it. Andrew Stacy through the inner loop. Still yet to put down a time. I believe Matthew White is on his first flying lap. He actually did put down a time. Ortega is just broken for some reason. That's kind of annoying. Okay. Of course, obviously can't watch any of the action in qualifying if the ticker's not working. Apologize for this. We'll get you live in just a quick second. Still, it's now Richard Cherry top of the board, Miller in second, McKinney now third. Here comes Matthew White. We're going to go radio style here for just a quick second. Matthew White heading down the front straightaway. See what this time is going to be for White. He's actually yet to put down a time. Wait for him. Right now, the ticker's now working properly. That's some good news. All right. Here we go, back live at the Glen. Qualifying is underway. Richard Cherry so far top of the board. Miller in second, Donahue third. White is yet to put down a time. He's been on the racetrack here for a few laps. Here's Aiden Donahue in the 82. Here's Connor Havrilla. There's Logan Giesbrecht in the 80 machine. Bryce Benson slowing on down. Jacob Clarino in that 33. There's Payson Lindsay in the 99. Not halfway through just yet, but we will be soon. Eli Franklin should be in the booth in a few moments. When we go to the green flag. Our provisional pole currently is Richard Cherry. Donahue to the top of the board. Good lap by the 82. Here's Matt Grapp to the bus stop. There's the 88 of Cameron Chandler. Here's the 71 of Cole Clausen. Behind him, there's the 81 of Sean Hillquist. Cameron Chandler, he's on a lap currently. Matthew White now fastest, goes up by 3/10 over Aiden Donahue. What a lap by the 7. Through the bus stop goes Benton. Here is Havrilla going through the bus stop. There is your new leader, Matthew White. Miller there, currently 4th. Here's Cole Wilson, he's currently 10th. William Reagan in the 36. Jacob Clarino. So you can do as many laps as you want, of course, within the 10 or minute time. Can start a lap and then finish it right before time expires. Might see some drivers do that for their final laps here in quality. So Logan Giesbrecht in the 80, down the front straightaway. Back in a 1 and 2, or 1, I'm so used to saying 1 and 2. 1, he will go for Giesbrecht. Here's Trenton Wilkin, currently 9th. Bryce Benton, currently 8th. Better than that in practice, so we'll see what happens with the 9. About 4 minutes to go here in qualifying from the Glen. Benton through the bus stop, he'll go. There is Payson Lindsay, John Butler. Lindsay's got Butler on his front bumper. Oh, his Butler was going to go wide here, nearly spins out. Here comes Max DiFilippi in the 87. Pulling off to the side is Matt Grab. Here comes Ortega into 1. Ortega at the top of the board now in that 28. Currently on provisional pole. Now Matthew White, he sees that. He knows he's got to improve as he heads down the back straightaway. What is it gonna be there for the 7 car? Cole Wilson, slower than what he usually is. 15th now on the board. Oh, spinning Andrew Stacy out of Cole Clausen. Here is Clausen in the 71. Currently outside the top 10. I don't know if he's put down a time yet. Still about 3 minutes to go. Cole Clausen has, he's 14th. Actually ahead of 22 of Wilson. Here is Dylan Banks, the line currently 6th. What will this lap time be with 3 minutes to go in qualifying? I believe he's going to stay in 6th place. No, he's not. He's going to go to 3rd place, just updated. Dylan Banks, good lap up to P3 on the 2nd row. Oh, spinning around is Logan Giesbrett in front of, that was the only one of McKinney and the 53 of Matt Grab. And then update on Braden Hunsicker. I don't quite know if he's, I don't think he's on the racetrack yet. I'm not sure what's going on with Hunsicker, actually. Here's Donahue, Stacy to the back straight away. Here is the 9 of Benton. There's the 12 of Trenton Wilkins. Jacob Clarino's going wide. Here comes Clarino to the front straightaway. Oh, across the line he goes. Dylan Banks coming on the racetrack probably for 1 or 2 flying laps. Here is Logan Giesbrett in the 80 car. Still, it's Ortega on provisional pole. 2 minutes to go here in quali. Max DiFilippi heading down the back straightaway. There is McKinney in the 01. 09, that is John Butler. William Reagan there in the 36. There's Alexander Ortega in the 28. Here comes Matthew White down the front straightaway. The 22 of Cole Wilson there as well. There's the 71 of Cole Clausen, the 82 of Aiden Donahue will go wide. Now Matthew White back to the top of the board. With 1.5 minutes to go, he jumps Ortega by about 0.5 of a second. What a battle up front for the pole position. It's now Matthew White back on provisional pole as Eli Franklin is now in the booth. So welcome in, Eli.
Welcome.
Of course, going to be doing, oh my God, horrible crash. The 96 of Andrew Stacy has slammed the wall. Of course, like I said, doing radio style for tonight. About 1 minute to go now in qualifying. Once again, here is Payson Lindsay. Here comes the 99 of Payson Lindsay back down the front straightaways. So of course, like I said, you can start your final lap. You can finish it after the time expires, but you gotta start it before that. You got 30 seconds to go to start flying laps here. Here's Matthew White. Here's Cameron Chandler preparing for their final laps. Maybe there's Richard Cherry through the bus stop. 87 of DiFilippi. Here's Alexander Ortega. I believe he's on a flyer. Not mistaken. No, he's not. I don't think he's going to come to a flyer now. Going to try to win the pole after winning last night. Here comes Ortega. Down the front stretch on his final lap of qualifying. It's so close to the top of the board, separated by less than 1/10 of a second. Ortega into 1 and well, he will go as he now heads up through the interloop. Final laps are now starting. Matt Grab, he's not going to be able to get there. The John Butler, he starts his lap. I believe that's the cutoff. Bryce Benton, I don't think he got there. I think Benton, he's going to qualify, or that's the 87. Benton, not really. Here's Cherry coming to the line. Across the, he will go. He's currently 5th. Let's see if he improves. No. Chandler is only 8th. Oh, as Clarino takes a hard shot there. Here is Matthew White. Now is his final lap. It's going to be that. Now Alexander Ortega in the background going to have to try to do anything he can to improve. Actually, I believe Alexander Ortega, I'm not sure if he's on a flying lap or not.
You wrecked out. You wrecked
wow.
Going for the S.
That is big. And we got maybe 2, 3 more cars. I don't think Cameron Chandler's on a flying lap. Cole Wilson, he might be. He might be, if I can actually talk tonight. He's up to 7th, has jumped Cameron Chandler. Oh, he's going to spin out. Into the gravel he goes. Here comes John Butler, final lap, final car, I believe, on a lap. coming down the front straightaway for the 09 of Butler, currently 14th. What is this lap time going to bring for him? Across the line he will go. John Butler, I believe, going to start outside the top 10 tonight. Oh my God, a horrific crash now for the 09. He qualifies 12th, moves up 2 positions. Chandler, I don't think he's on a flying lap. Checkered flag in the air here in qualifying. I don't think Cameron Chandler was on a flyer there. He's going to qualify 8th. Not the best qualifying for the driver of the 8th. But here is your pole sitter, Matthew White. He extends his pole record and wins the pole here at the Glen. What a qualifying session that was. My goodness, Matthew White on pole position by a half of the 10th of the second over Alexander Ortega. Donahue going to start 3rd. Banks 4th. Good qualifying effort for Dylan Banks. P5, Richard Cherry. My goodness, practice was close. Qualifying was even closer. As we welcome you live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Season number 4. Race from the Watkins Glen International. Of course, like I said, going to be bringing this one to you radio style. Let's go over what radio style is going to look like real quick. Then we'll, of course, real quick over the playoff grid. So I'm going to be heading down to the run to the final corner, down the front straightaway, up through the inner loop, and then halfway down the back straightaway, I'll give it to the Eli Franklin heading to the bus stop, through the carousel and down that back straightaway, and then he'll give it back to me. So 2 of us tonight. We had 3 yesterday, but we'll see how 2 works. And here's your playoff grid entering. Of course, Matthew White, Cameron Chandler, 19 points separate them for the playoffs. Now it's 20 because Matthew just got pole position, that extra bonus point. Benson there 3rd, and then on the cut line, Haberilla just +5 over Joseph Tucker, who is suspended for the next 2 races. Payson Lindsay -7, Matt Grab -11, and that is your playoff grid. With just 5 races to go, heading to the Glen tonight. Here we go. Let's go over your starting grid. Matthew White on pole position, just barely over Alexander Ortega. 3rd, Donahue, Banks, Cherry on your top 5. And then you got Miller, Cole Wilson, pretty good here in qualifying. Chandler Benson, a little bit of surprising qualifying back there, 8th and 9th. But Kenny rounds out your top 10, and then you got the rest of your top 20, and then the rest of the field rolling across the left side of your screen. All right, this is Watkins Glen for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. All right, Eli Franklin, 2nd race in the booth for you, of course. First time it's going to be radio style here tonight. What can we really expect in this first half, 25 laps?
I think the first half, mainly just to get to the halfway point. Last night's race, it was basically clean the first half of the race, mainly to get to halfway. Now, the main thing for the leaders is when you get close to halfway, when you get to 3 to go, is it worth pitting? And if you're near the cut line or have a chance of taking a position for the top of the standings to get an extra playoff point, is it worth it taking the stage points and losing positions to start the next stage, the final stretch, or is it worth it maybe if you're 10th or 11th and just enough time to pit to maybe drop back to 20th or whatever, and then you jump everybody, goes to the 2nd or 3rd in the opening restart to have a chance of taking a win?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if all that strategy is. I'm saluting there our Aiden Donahue and Matthew White. We're looking maybe for part 2 tonight. I am excited. I'm strapped in. White, Donahue, Cherry, they made it so exciting a season ago, and they're all inside the top 5 to start this race. Here we go. This one is one I've been looking forward to personally for a while. This is Watkins Glen in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. And updated here on Braden Hunsaker, he has gotten off the grid. He's going to be starting outside the top 20. Didn't get any laps in practice or qualifying, so going to be kind of going into the unknown for him. Roll off the end of the grid back there. It will come to, of course, roll down pit road this time. Check their pit boxes and check their grid speed, like they usually do. This is Watkins Glen in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series, and we are going to be having, hopefully, a fun one for you tonight. Live on the Ethan Chandler channel. 14th race of the Cup Series season. 5 races to go before the playoffs. Of course, we're going to be bringing this one to you once again, radio style, for the 2nd straight night. Connor Asbell, his car just didn't roll off the grid for some reason. Not quite sure what's going on with that. We'll give you some updates on the development when we can. starts, and starts are going to be crucial here. Of course, halfway break, the end of lap 25. Top 10 gets stage points for stage winner, gets a playoff point as well. Cameron Chandler, starting 8th, was, of course, gains on Matthew White these last 2 races in the regular season championship. Now down in -19, now -20, because Matthew White has the pole. He will start P8, so going to start a little bit behind Matthew White here. Going to have to run up through the grid if he doesn't want to lose too many points for him for the stage, as they will come to check pit road speed. Matthew White, a bunch of poles this season, has the most poles of all time, of course, the most poles this season as well. He's got 2 wins on the year, of course. Still came early in the season, about 10 races ago, his last Cup Series win. He's looking for career win number 17 tonight, if he can get the job done. Your Season 1 Cup Series champions. They come and will actually move over to the pick boxes, top 3, but everybody else will. Connor Aswell is in pit road. I believe he's going to have to start from the pits. There he is in the 72. Something happened coming to the grid, apparently. So Connor Aswell will have to start from pit road. All right. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. This is the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series at Watkins Glen International. Here we go. 50 laps around Watkins Glen, New York. Such a beautiful area to be in this week. Of course, this is the main event for the week, the Cup Series. Matthew White on pole position. To his outside, Alexander Ortega. White dominated the first half in the Xfinity race last night. Ortega ended up winning the race. Both of the 2 most sets of laps, they're going to be starting in the front row here in the Cup race. And then, of course, another storyline, White Donahue Cherry. They put on such a show for the win a season ago here, and they got company as well tonight to even make it more exciting. I think, realistically, top 9, I could all see winning this race tonight. Even top 10, maybe even top 11, stretching it down the Trenton Wilkin. There are so many good drivers and cars in this race. And we are just about ready to get going in Watkins Glen for the 14th race of the Cup Series season. It's the second road course of the year. Sonoma was won by Matthew White. He's looking for his 5th straight road course victory tonight. They're sweeping the road courses of season 3. All 3 of them winning Sonoma this season. Here we go. This is Watkins Glen in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series, and we are just about to be underway. White Ortega, the front row. That pace car going to make the hard right turn this time, down to pit road. We are green in Watkins Glen, New York in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. Good initial start on the outside lane by Alexander Ortega as they'll head down into turn number 1. Oh, car's nearly wrecking behind him. That's the 36 of William Reagan. They're 3 wide. Into one they go side by side, though, for the race lead. Ortega will get cleared by Matthew White. The 7 to the lead. There's Donahue 3rd. Banks now to 4th. 5th place is Ashton Miller, getting chaotic back here as well. To the outside goes the 22 Wilson. He gets loose. White right ahead of the gate of Cameron Chandler as they head down the back straightaway to Eli Franklin.
Matthew White with a great start so far. As you head into the bus stop, it'll be very easy for you here not to overshoot or wheel hop as some did last night. Matthew White with a good lead. Ortega goes through the grass a little bit, stays 2nd.
2 cars go around. Sean Hillquich and the 33 of Jacob Clarino. They'll get them back fired up. You also got Connor Aswell heading in the distance back there. But here we go, battle for 2nd going on. Donahue to the inside of Ortega. For P2 on the opening lap. Ortega's going to go wide. There is Donahue trying to take that position away to the outside lane. He will go. Ortega going to try to fight it down on low, and Matthew White's going to lead the opening lap. They make contact for 2nd place. Down the front stretch they go. Door to door, Aiden Donahue and Alexander Ortega back into one. They'll race. Ortega on the inside, Donahue on the outside. They are still side by side now. Ortega clear for the race for 2nd place. Rear clears Aiden Donahue heading through the inner loop. That gave it now a 7/10 of a second lead for Matthew White. Heading up to the inner loop, there's Banks running in 4th. Cherry 5th, he gets a little bit loose. Now Miller and Bryce Benson will have momentum heading down this back straightaway.
Everybody's starting to spread out here on lap 2 as they enter the bus stop. Very good lead from Matthew White so far, only 2 laps in. Everybody seems to be single file, mostly from back. As you're side by side back here, it looks like 9, Bryce Benton looking, and he gets taken over by the 79, Ashton Miller, as he's clear for, it looks like 6th or 7th as they head down the backstretch.
There is Cole Wilson currently running 8th now. Down the 9th, Cameron Chandler, he lost the spot. Looking to the inside of Wilson, will not get that spot. Now gaining a spot is Trek looking up the P10. Bryce Benton looking inside here on Ashton Miller. Battle for 5th place. Miller going to send it down low. He'll try to side draft him, heading down this front straightaway yet again. They roll back into one. Benton clear. Wilson trying to take over that spot as well, catching Ashton Miller off guard. He's there to the inside. There's the 8 of Cameron Chandler as well. And Wilson going to drop back in line, battle up front. Ortega still trying to close the bumper of White, and then he got Aiden Donahue all over the back bumper of that 28 of Alexander Ortega.
Matthew White, gap's starting to close just a little bit as they end the bus stop here. Looks like Ortega's starting to gain a little bit through his bus stop as they finish through the bus stop. Everybody clean so far going through the bus stop. This is everybody single file. Make it very easy on lap 3, as it's very clean so far for the first 3 laps.
There is Cheery and Dylan Banks. They start the battle. As now Donahue's cutting back to the clutches of Alexander Ortega, coming to lap 4 this time, currently on the 3rd lap of this race. Pace and Lindsey John Butler battling for 13th. There is the 71 of Cole Clausen currently running in 15th. Back there is Braden Hunsaker. He's already inside the top 20. There is the 96 of Andrew Stacy back to Logan Giesbrett. I believe 77 is a bit of damage. There's the 81 of Sean Hilquist spun on lap number 1. He's outside the top 20 now, and there's back to last place Connor Asbell. Lap 4 is underway at the Glen. Matthew White's got about still a 4/10 of a second lead over Alexander Ortega. There is Donahue currently running in 3rd. They have gapped Dylan Banks, currently 4th. Cheery there in 5th. Benton 6th. Miller 7th. Wilson, Chandler, Wilkin rounding at your top 10. Still early in the race at the Glen.
Top 3 starting to pull away a little bit to the rest of the field. As Matthew White's still holding about 5-10 second leads. He looks like he overran the bus stop there and is letting Alexander Ortega gain. It looks like it's down to under 2 car lengths as they actually go down the backstretch. Will Alexander Ortega get a decent run to try to put a fight on Matthew White? It looks like Matthew White had a very good exit there as they go back to you.
Ortega all over the back bumper of White. Still got Donahue. 3-way battle for the lead at Watkins Glen International. Matthew White's got that 28 on his bumper. He's going to pressure him and heading down to turn number 1. Oh, yeah, Matthew White got a little bit loose there.
We'll in the grass.
Car that just went wide was Ashton Miller. Oh, smack grab us to make avoiding action. There's McKinney as well. Well, stay green. Miller's able to save it. Into turn number 1 they go. Ortega on the bumper of Matthew White. He's a blink. As he gets a little bit loose, but still keeping it close for the lead of this race. Up front, battle for the top spot. Alexander Ortega, Matthew White, shades of last night. As they head off the loop, heading now down this back straightaway. Ortega's going to have momentum. What will he be willing to do still early in this race to the bus stop?
Looks like Ortega might look to the inside, but decides to stay right behind Matthew White, putting the pressure on him through his bus stop to make sure he goes perfectly through here so far. As Matthew White very clean through the bus stop, as Ortega also is pretty clean through there. He stays about the same, about 1 car length. Looks like Ortega's going to try to set up a good run down backstretch to try to pass him through here. As again, top 3 still really pulled away. Dylan Banks and Richard Cherry, pretty close battle for 4th and 5th.
Yeah, that battle, Dylan Banks trying to hold on to Cherry. He's been on his bumper. You got Matt Grab dropping back here. He's back in 10th. Cole Wilson trying to fight him off. He's to the outside. McKinney running in 11th. Ashton Miller fell all the way back to 12th place. Nose to tail battle as Matt Grab to the inside. There's McKinney trying to make a 3-way. Oh! Contact made. Matt Grab going to spin ahead of McKinney and Miller. Caution going to come out here at Watkins Glen. Matt Grab in the middle of the racetrack. The yellow flag is out. First time tonight. Ashton Miller also involved. Matt Grab goes around. Ooh, it's Diego Rodriguez tries to get out of that whole mess. Yellow flag's out. Lap number 6, the Glen. First caution of the night. Let's take a look at what happens. Middle of the racetrack, that's why the caution came out. So battling here inside the top, just inside the top 10. Grab went to the inside. Does he was Wilson? I think Wilson may have squeezed him. Then Matt Grab spins ahead of McKinney, who got pretty good damage there. Hit the wall for the 2nd time, and then run in front of Ashton Miller. He's going to lose a lot of spots because of this. The caution comes out for the first time in tonight's race. Let's ride along here with Matt Grab. See how he got around in the 53 car. He's battling inside the top 10. the inside of Wilson. Yes, Wilson squeezes it. Nowhere for Matt Grab really to go. He gets hit. Pounded pretty hard by McKinney. I think he's going to be the one with the most damage, unfortunately. It's right along with the 0-1 of Jamie, or it's actually right along from the blimp with Jamie McKinney to see how he kind of got through all this. Matt Grab to the inside, just unfortunate for him. Goes around ahead of McKinney. Ooh, just gets slammed by Ashton Miller into the wall. He goes pretty well there as well. And the caution going to come out for the first time tonight at the Glen on lap 7. Had a great battle up front, but ready early yellow flag from Watkins Glen International. Going to be interested to see if he have cars come down pit road. You got 3 sets of tires waiting for you in the pits.
I think some of these backmarkers might come in for field. They got to change up the little strategy a little bit. You have Matthew White just pull away from the field. These backmarkers about 15th back. You got to get a little bit off strategy to maybe have a chance later on, or take less fuel right before the stage break. You want to flip it so you don't. Maybe if you're a little farther back, you don't go a lap down.
Yeah. So of course, still only on lap 7. So I don't think your leaders. I don't know. It would be interesting to see if the leaders pit here. As they come to the bus stop under the caution flag for the first time today. It's the first time, I think, in a very long time we've had a caution flag in the first half naturally in Watkins Glen. Usually it's just the stage caution. Braden Hunsaker has some front end damage. Of course, at the start in the back, made up about 10 or so positions. More than that, actually, up to 14th. This weird looking angle for some reason. The TV camera that is, apparently it's TV1. Why it's like that. But head down the back straightaway yet again. We'll see if anyone comes to pit. Of course, Matt Grab all the way back there to last. He doesn't have too much damage. Let's look with McKinney if I can actually find him. There he is. He has some front end damage. Doesn't look awful, but that could be some wheel repairs he's going to need. Still running inside the top 10. Didn't lose so many positions.
At this early, if I'm him, I'll go ahead and pit. But don't go for tires or anything. Just come in and get the damage mostly repaired. You don't have a lot of time to lose a lap.
Dylan Banks is going to pit. They fake up front. Banks is going to be the first one on pit road. Wilson's going to pit. McKinney, Butler, they both pit. So will Clausen, Hunsaker. And then a lot of cars in the more back half of the field. So I'm honestly shocked that Dylan Banks came to pit road. Going to be on a little bit of an alternate strategy there. Those cars will come to pit over here. Also going to have the choose cone like usual down the front straightaway. Maybe about upwards of 10 cars or so, 10, 12 cars coming to pit road. Looks like fuel only for a good amount of them. Maybe 2 tires. Is John Butler going to roll off pit road first? Restart just outside the top 15, I believe. Cole Wilson rolling off. There's Ethan McMillan and Cole Clausen teammates. There is Wilson again. There is Dylan Banks still sitting in the pits, surprisingly. He was in the top 5 with track position. I don't really know why he hit it, and now just got an update here. And Dylan Banks, apparently he's having some connection issues. So hopefully he can get those sorted out, get back on track. For the driver that was running inside the top 5 for this caution. All right, working the first yellow of the night, coming to the choose this time. It'll be back underway on lap 10. First had a great battle for the lead between White, Ortega, and Donahue here in the opening stages of this race.
Let's hope we don't have an incident like last night. The leader decided not to choose and got himself the EOL.
Yeah, that's definitely not what we want. Matthew White, that's kind of how his win slipped away a night ago. There is Hunsaker rolling off. There's Ashton Miller. Dylan Banks, I don't know where he is. Dylan Banks.
He's disconnected.
Oh, wow. Hopefully that's not forever.
Well, luckily it's at a road course, so one, we have the stage break, and usually at a road course, if he comes back on pretty quickly, he should be no more than 1 or 2 laps down, which he can make it very easily for caution and the stage break.
Of course, we heard from Dylan Banks having connection issues, so he's trying to get that sorted out. We'll see if he's able to return back on the racetrack here pretty soon. All right, coming to the choose. Banks, though, has not huge points implications yet, plus 60, but definitely not what he wants to see. Matthew, I don't know why he's hitting the wall. Oh, yeah, this is why. Yeah, he has bad memories from last night. As now he's going to go low. Ortega goes outside. There's the 82 of Donahue going to choose low. First choose of the night. Back here they go low, high, low, Stacy, high, high, low, high, high. So fun how the shoes makes things happen as they go. The 72 of Asbel, he's pitting. But of course, Dylan Banks, I don't think he's on the racetrack still. He's actually, I think he's back. He's one lap down though. I think he scored one lap down. I don't know. Or
I don't
no,
think
he's
reconnecting it, but it helps a lot that's under caution. So if he comes out any time before they go green, as long as he stays one lap down, he should be in contention near the end. Because as long as somebody else goes one lap down, he'll get the free pass at the end of the stage.
Yeah, but Dylan definitely does not want to see a DNF here after having to miss Nashville because of issues. There's 2018 pulling out. Won at Iowa, of course, 2 weeks ago, but does not want another DNF. Not be a good result tonight at the Glen, if that happens. Rolling down the back straightaway, coming to the restart this time. Going to be on lap 10. 16 to go to the halfway break then. Yeah, Matthew White, of course, went so wide to just make sure he had that shoes all worked out. Here we go, once again from Watkins Glen International. Ready to get back underway for the restart. Going to be White and Ortega once again on the front row. Now Bryce Benton moves up a couple of rows because some cars pitted. He'll be fourth, but he had a good shoes as well. Here we go, at Watkins Glen, ready to get back underway. Dylan Banks still being scored one lap down, and he is not connected back to the session. He is trying to do something. Gonna be unfortunate for the driver of the 48. Entered this race with 60 to the good with a win on the year, but not what he wants to see. As Matthew White, Alexander Ortega gonna lead the field back to the green flag on lap 10 at Watkins Glen International. We're back to green. Great restart by Matthew White. He is clear on both Ortega and Donahue. Donahue now to the inside for second place. He's going to try to clear that 28 of Ortega. Is heading back into 1 and 2. Oh, really send it down deep in there. He will slide up the racetrack and go way wide. Might lose 2, 3, possibly 4 positions. Will fall back to 4th place here. He goes outside. There is Benton coming low as well. The 8 of Chandler involved in this battle as they will almost make contact. Donahue and Benton. Here comes Chandler Wilkin with a run down this back straightaway.
Bryce Benson made a little bit of contact there, go through the S's. That's the now end of the bus stop. Hard to go single file, and almost impossible to probably go double wide as Bryce Benson goes through. People go through the grass, and people wreck behind.
That was Cole Wilson around. Got side-by-side action, almost contact between the 12 of Wilkin and the 8 of Cameron Chandler. Wilkin on the inside there, trying to take that spot away. Aiden Donahue just ahead of them, currently in 5th. We got a battle for the lead. Here comes Alexander Ortega to the inside of Matthew White. They almost made contact. They're side by side for the lead of this race. Cherry back there in 3rd place. Where's he gonna go? Door to door, contact almost again. They head down this front stretch, side by side. Ortega still trying to keep his nose down in there. He will. He's going to try to send it deep on the outside through 1 and 2. Here comes Richard Cherry as well to make it a 3-way battle for the race lead. Ortega goes wide, still keeping it outside, side by side with Matthew White. They lean on each other through the S's, almost making contact yet again. White's got the outside now. Ortega has the preferred lane, side by side for the lead of this race with Richard Cherry waiting in the wings back there. Benton 4th, Donahue 5th.
He's going to be really tough through the bus stop, side by side. Who's going to give? Looks like nobody's going to go side by side through the bus stop. So contact, big contact. As we're now 3 wide for the lead, go through the grass. Richard Cherry now 3 wide. Contact. Matthew White's lining up the track. Bryce Benson was made a 4 wide. As now looks like Matthew White's going to retake the lead. They're now 3 wide.
Oh, Ortega is loose and he's going to spin.
Right in front of the field.
He will save it. He'll go. Oh, why is he backing up now?
Almost backed up into the field.
We're gonna stay green, I think.
No, it's very hard to turn around here with the wall there. Trying to hit nobody.
He was out of the way enough. We'll stay green at the Glen, but Alexander Ortega goes around. on lap 12. What a battle. They were 3 wide for the lead of the race, but that is big. Ortega spins. He'll fall back to 25th. Matthew White will clear for the race lead. Benson now to 2nd place. Man, what a fight. Donahue to 3rd. There's racing for 4th place. Richard Cherry and Trenton Wilkin. The race control was thinking about a caution there, but ultimately, because most drivers got by before the caution was called, decided not to throw it.
Bryce Benson up to 2nd, wasn't 4th behind all of that mess and got through to get up to 2nd. As now the enters through the bus stop, everybody seems to be making through well through the bus stop, all single file, and hopefully calm down after that big 3 wide. As Matthew White, looks like Bryce Benson's starting to cut down the lead a little bit to Matthew White. Maybe that little bit of damage is starting to hurt him a little bit as they head back down the backstretch.
Yeah, Matthew White made pretty good contact with Alexander Ortega. There is now Aiden Donahue trying to reel him back in, though. He's coming to his back bumper. Of course, Ortega, he's going to be looking forward to this caution flag, getting back into the battle. Donahue, he's closing there. We're also got maybe a side-by-side battle. How about Trenton Wilkin making his way inside the top 5, maybe for a 4th? Here he is to the inside of Richard Cherry. Cherry going to try to block down low to take his line away. Wilkin not giving up. He's back down on the low side of this racetrack. Head back into 1 and 2, or 1. Battle up front now, 7/10 of a second, separating the 7 of Matthew White and the 9 of Bryce Benson. What a race we've had so far at the Glen. Battle, how about John Butler up inside the top 7? Payson Lindsay running in 6th. I mean, my goodness, John Butler has a terrible blink. As they head down this back straightaway once again.
All single file going through the bus stop as near the back, near about 8 places. Very close battle between Matt Grab and James Kennedy trying to get through the bus stop. All clean so far as very surprised Philip Lindsay's up to 6th. Big playoff implications for him as Bryce Benson still 2nd, about the same gap near about 7/10.
Oh, and we just got an update. Cameron Chandler has just fallen back. I'm not really sure. We're going to give it real quick look on what happened to Cameron Chandler here. I don't understand. I don't know. Did he restart in the back? No, he didn't. What happened to Cameron? He was lost in all the chaos. Oh, he spun!
Yeah, he got spun after going through the bus stop.
That was lost in all the 3 and 4 wide chaos, and Cameron Chandler back outside the top 20 now. Oh, McKinney is slow, and he gets hit by the 33 of Clarino, and around goes Jamie McKinney. He'll spin out of the way. We'll keep it green, but he probably has a little bit of damage. 2nd incident tonight he's going to be involved in. We'll look out in Clarino's car, see how much damage the 33 has. There he is, heading down the back straightaway, rolling okay, but I do see a little bit of wheel damage for Jacob Clarino. Dylan Banks still having those connection issues, unfortunate for him. I think his night might be over.
His night's probably over. Yeah, it seems like his might be close to over. It's about over 5 laps down unless we get a lead of caution. If he gets lucky, if a lot of free passes, his night's pretty close to over if he joins anytime soon, if he joins back tonight.
So battle here now for 6th place. I'm shocked that these two are even inside the top 10 after qualifying outside of there. It's Payson Lindsay and John Butler battling for this position. They're inside of stage points, and this is what Payson Lindsay needs, but he's got John Butler really pressuring him. Connor Havrilla as well. All your cut line drivers, Lindsay, Havrilla, Grab, here in the top 10 as they head back into 1. Got 11 to go to the halfway break. Still about 9/10 to a second for the race lead between White and Benson.
Top 5 pulling away by a lot, all single file. Coming to 10 to go. Interesting to see Matt White here. Do you take stage 1, you come to pit in a couple of laps when you get close to the stage break? What do these playoff cut line drivers do? Did they decide maybe one chance again to win through this race, or they want to go get up the stage points and give themselves a buffer just in case the night doesn't go well? They get back, they can at least have the stage points with them.
So I'm going to say this on Matthew White. He's in the regular season championship battle with Cameron Chandler. Chandler is currently running 18th. So I think Matthew White is just probably, I would assume he would just take the stage win here to get those 10 points on him.
That'll probably be close to, pretty close to closing up the championship as long as Matthew White doesn't have an incident like he did last week.
Battle here, side by side, John Butler and the 99 of Payson Lindsay. This is for 6th place. Also got Matt Grab, the 50 of Connor Havrilla, getting into this battle as well. To the outside, we'll go Havrilla. Lindsay's going to lose maybe 2 spots here. Back to 8th with Matt Grab, his teammate, on his rear bumper. Ooh, Havrilla going to really lock up the tires, heading back into 1. Braden
Matthew White now over. Matthew White now over a almost 1.5 second lead, pulling away from everybody. As we have John Butler up to sixth. Very, very good race for him so far. Cameron Chandler trying to make his way back through, still in 18th. And it looks like Andrew Stacy goes wide there. And as we go through the bus stop, still single file through as everybody's still trying to calm down from that incident. Brandon Hunsinger from very little practice is inside the top 10, now in the inside of Matt Grab, now back up to 9th.
Hunsinger driving his way through the field after starting in the rear, get helped out by that caution flag. Of course, that was early, but still doing a nice job up front. About a 9 to go to the halfway break. This time at Watkins Glen, 1.3 seconds the lead for Bryce Benton. There's Aiden Donahue trying to reel in the 9 car. He has pace. He's been running a little bit faster than Matthew White over these last few laps. He looks like he has good pace in that 82 car. We'll try to reel him in.
Looks like Bryce Benson's going to lose a little bit to third place, as you said, and going back through the rest of the field, looks like most of the top 10 single file as there's a battle. Ashton Miller trying to get by. Looks like the 22 car, Cole Wilson, very battle back there, right outside the top 10, trying to get close enough to stage points that the drivers up front said they can jump and get stage points as to get to the bus stop.
Ashton Miller trying to take this position away. Like we said, running outside the top 10 in 14th. Battling for 13th place. Cole Wilson car went wide. That's Jacob Clarino. He goes wide. He'll lose some time. Diego Rodriguez having a fantastic run inside the top 15. Impressed by the driver of the 11. Cameron Chandler trying to drive his way back up the field. He's the inside here of Andrew Stacy. Oh, they make contact. Andrew Stacy and Cameron Chandler. Stacy's going to go wide. Here comes Ethan McMillan to kind of try to pounce on him. Cole Clausen back there as well. Chandler's going to get that position away, but really was with a bit of, I don't want to say dirty driving, but up to 15th he goes. Head back in the wall.
Trying to make his way back through the field. After that early spin from that 3 wide ahead, and I guess he's checked up and got spun out. As he's getting back inside top 15, trying to get the championship from Matthew White. But Matthew White up front. Chandler trying to reel in Ashton Miller for 14. As we're coming up, I think it's 7 to go in the stage, as maybe if you consider, if you're Cameron Chandler to pit maybe right before the end of the stage, as it looks like Ashton Miller goes through the grass.
Miller's going to lose a couple spots there. To the inside now goes Wilson. Cole Wilson will clear Diego Rodriguez for that position. There's Jacob Clarino up there as well. Matt Grabby starting to reel in the 99, his teammate Payson Lindsay. Matthew White's got about a 2.1 second lead over Bryce Benton and Aiden Donahue. Donahue has closed up to the rear bumper of that 9 car. They are in now a battle for second place as Matthew White beginning to pull away even more. I'm surprised the damage for the 7 really not affecting him too much. Through the inner loop they go yet again.
Bryce Benson's still trying to hold on to second as a couple laps to go in stage 1. Still holding on to about maybe a 3 or 4 tenths second, as it looks like we have a battle back here for 5th. A battle for 4th. Richard Cherry got loose, looks like, at the exit and lost a little bit of time as they go through the bus stop. Richard Cherry trying to keep in front of the 12 as they go through the corner here. Looks like Cherry goes a little wide, trying to don't let him get space on the inside. As they go back down the backstretch, Cherry maybe about a car length gap from 4th.
As they head back into the final 2 corners of this racetrack, there is Cherry still trying to hang on to this position, but Trent Wilkins has been all over his back bumper as of late, trying to take it away. Battle for 4th place at the Glen. Oh, Wilkin, he is sideways, almost hits the pit barrels, saves the race car, but that could have been bad. Now with 6 laps to go to the halfway break, could have definitely been a race-ending incident. We're going to look back up front. Aiden Donahue is still trying to close up to that back bumper of the 9 of Benton. He has been doing everything he can over these last few laps. We head up through the inner loop yet again, riding along with Aiden Donahue. Heading down the back straightaway, Benton, you can see getting a little bit loose. He's going to close on him, heading to the bus stop now.
Going through the bus stop. Can Donahue gain a little bit here through the bus stop? Make Benson make a mistake to get up to second. As both looks like went pretty well through the bus stop there. As they try to get a good run here, try to get down the backstretch, trying to gain some momentum. As it looks like Benson's trying to put a little bit of a gap on him.
Benton hasn't really been losing too much time to Matthew White as of late, but Aiden Donahue's all over his back bumper. He'll pull outside, looking inside now. Through his tire tracks he goes. Battle for second place at Watkins Glen between Bryce Benton and Aiden Donahue. 5 laps to go to the halfway break here at Watkins Glen. Blocking down inside as Bryce Benton did that a lot in the Xfinity race last night. Heading back into one, he will go ever so slightly wide. Momentum carrying now for the 82 of Aiden Donahue. They head up through the inner loop. Donahue definitely is faster than that 9 car, but by how much is Braden
36
Hunsaker
around in the back. William Reagan spun.
Ooh, he's in the middle of the track here. We'll give him a second to fire it back up. Yes, he will. He was running last.
He should be good.
If you can get it going in the right direction here.
Back through the bus stop. Bryce Benson still about 2-3 car length gap as he goes through this backstretch. It looks like Bryce Benson saw the pull away a little bit. It looks like maybe the 82 got a little loose there at the exit at the bus stop. Bryce Benson tried not to mess up like he did last lap. Got a little wide and let the 82 have a good run down his backstretch. But Bryce Benson cleaned it up a little bit there as they go back to you.
Of course, Aiden Donahue, Matthew White, so good on the road courses. They both have wins in either Cup or Xfinity here at Watkins Glen. And Bryce Benton, the outlier there, doesn't have a win here at the Glen. Doesn't even have a road course win in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League besides his All-Star Race Open back in Season 3 at Road America. As they head back into 1 and 2, you can see the brake rotors glowing on this 9 car. He's been slamming on the brakes. Matthew White's still only about 2 seconds out. Really hasn't been pulling away as of late. Gotta wonder, is that
as the
damage?
8 pit. Cameron Chandler on pit low.
All right, decides because...
And 99.
And Payson Lindsay, he was in stage 1. I'm actually shocked Payson pitted, but he was losing spots here. Chandler and Lindsay both on pit road here. I'm assuming Chandler's pitting here because he knows he's not going to get stage point. Might as well just go on an alternate strategy. So here we go. Cars on pit road. Will anyone come to pit? Pit road closes with, of course, 2 laps till the halfway break. Coming to 3 to go this time.
Can't afford the speed here. You can't afford to take the strategy and speed and have to start the back at the end of the stage.
Yeah, so 4 fresh Goodyear tires. It looks like they're going to set them up for the end of the race here. This should be their final scheduled pit stop already, but kind of how it goes here at the Glen. We'll see if any of the leaders elect to pit. So far staying out, coming to 3 to go. They'll have 1 more chance after this. Cherry stays out, so does Wilkin. Braden Hunsaker running in 6th. He's going to stay out. 09 of John Butler, he'll stay out. So will the 50th Connor Havrilla. Oh, Wilson there in the 22. There's Ashton Miller. There is Diego Rodriguez. Everybody kind of staying out. Still coming at 2 to go, of course, here in the stage. Ethan McMillan was low there as the 81 of Sean Hillbush. He'll go wide. Ortega to the inside of him. Battle for 17th. Ortega, of course, got spun out. Driving his way back up through the field. Of course, that car started 2nd. We know Alexander Ortega has a lot of pace.
I think Ortega might want to pit there, but I think he's so far back after that spin. If you get pitted, you're going to risk it really bad going a lap down, which you cannot afford here.
He's about 28 seconds back of your leader, Matthew White, so it would be close. Doesn't want to, of course, take that risk. Battle here, Wilkin, all of the back bumper of Richard Cherry, trying to get 4th place away and some stage points. Looking inside maybe for a second, not able to get there. He's going to head through final 2 corners on his bumpers. We come to 2 to go to the stage. Final opportunity to pit. Benton and Donahue both stay out. Of course, your leader, Matthew White, as well. Donahue's all over the back bumper of Bryce Benton. These drivers stay out. We'll see if the 77 pits. No, Hunsaker will stay. Here's Havrilla, the inside of Matt Grab. Going to make that pass happen. He is up to 8th place. Oh, Matt Grab has a moment. A lot of your top 10 of your leaders staying out, though, at the Glen. Battle now for 2nd place. 2 laps to go till the stage. Oh,
Bryce Benson in the wall there. As now head down the backstretch, going through the bus stop. Will that damage affect him? Maybe a little bit of bent totally, maybe steering a little bit as he goes through his bus stop. Seems to be well so far as he now exits the bus stop. As it looks like he's going to lose a little bit of time come near the end of the stage. Will he hang on to 2nd here? as they head down the backstretch.
Yeah, and he does have damage now in that 9 car. He's going to have to be careful of that for the rest of this race. Maybe he's going to want to try to repair as much as he can without losing too much time on pit road at the halfway break. Donahue Oliver is back bumper trying to take second place away. Of course, Braden Hunsaker and Bryce Spencer are in a battle for third in the points. That is crucial. Pays 5 playoff points at the end of the regular season. Final lap of the stage for Matthew White. Battle for second still raging on. There is Cherry running in fourth still over Wilkin. There is sixth place Braden Hunsaker. He slides, but still such a recovery. What a hard battle. Matt Crabb to the inside of Connor Havrilla. He will send it down in there, nearly making contact. Matt Crabb has been fighting for every stage point he's trying to get. He needs them all. Currently running in ninth as we are on the final lap of the stage. Battle still for second place, and Matthew White still with the lead of this race. They're going to win the stage at the Glen to get a playoff point in 10 stage points.
Matthew White going through the bus stop for the final time this stage. Very, very good race so far for him as he pulls a 3-second gap to stage 1. Trying to just keep it clean. Been very, very clean and has the lead the whole race. Can't afford any mistakes. As Bryce Benson still in second, pulling away looks like a little bit as that damage doesn't feel like to be affecting him at all. Richard Cherry still has a little bit of a gap, so can probably hang on to fourth. Braden Hunsinger is starting to catch up, but it looks like maybe a little too late to get in that battle for fourth and fifth.
Here we go, green and white checkered flag. Matthew White's going to see the green and white checkered flag. He'll win the stage, of course. Gains a lot on Cameron Chandler. Now going to be plus 30 on the regular season championship. Benton going to come home second in the stage. Third, Donahue. Fourth, Drew Cherry. Fifth place points for Wilkin. That's pretty good. Hunsaker rallies the P6 after starting in the rear. Seventh going to be John Butler. Eighth, Connor Haverhill. Look at this train of cars. Eighth, ninth, and 10th. This will be the stage. Eighth, Haverhill. Ninth, Matt Crabb. And 10th place, Cole Wilson. That's the stage break here at Watkins Glen. The caution will come out halfway at the Glen tonight. Matthew White, your stage winner. So we'll be right back from Watkins Glen International. Halfway break pit stops are coming up. We'll be back in about 20 or so seconds. Welcome back live to the Watkins Glen International at the halfway break. Of course, your top 10 on screen all get stage points. Good 2 stage points for Matt Crabb, 3 stage points for Havrilla. That'll help in the points. We look at William Reagan, finished 25th in the stage, so that is going to hurt him a whole lot. Not what he needed in the points. William Reagan tonight, after a few good weeks in a row, entered this race. This race plus 11 to the cut line, so wasn't the most. Cole Clausen didn't get any stage points either. He also entered plus 11, so definitely close over there. So we're halfway at the Glen. Matthew White, of course, has led the most laps at the Watkins Glen International here tonight. What a fun first half, though. I mean, 3 wide action for the lead of the race. Are you kidding me? At Watkins Glen, what a race so far we've had tonight. We still got a whole second half to come.
Yeah, who would have thought out of the bus stop will be 3 wide battle for the lead, and surprisingly, just very little contact coming out of it. If you told me before the race it was going to be 3 wide at the end of the bus stop, I would say how much cars made it through.
I mean, it just shows how much talent is in this field tonight, especially on the road courses. Unbelievable. I mean, qualifying was so close by literally half a tenth of a second for the pole. Practice was so close. Top 6 were within 0.3 of a second of each other, and that's a lot of the road course. Not even a lot of the road course I meant, but lap times here are like 1 minute and 9 seconds for the fast guys, 1 minute and 8 seconds sometimes. Here we go. Coming to halfway break pit stops at the Glen. here in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. Your leader, Matthew White. Ooh, they almost made contact between Cherry and Donahue. Everybody coming up pit road. Probably going to be 4 fresh Goodyear tires, but remember, Cameron Chandler, he will stay out most likely, I think. Yes, he is. And him and Payson Lindsay will take the lead because of this. That was the strategy they were on. Chandler, because he was out of position for stage points, will ultimately end up now taking this strategy to restart second. All right, everybody on pit road besides Chandler and Lindsay, of course, pitted before the halfway break. On that alternate strategy, 4 fresh Goodyear tires, packing the thing full of Sunoco fuel. Final scheduled stop of the day. Hunsicker rolling off back there, rolling off pit road. First going to be Matthew White. Second is going to be Benton over Donahue barely. Third, Donahue. Fourth, Cherry. Hunsicker jumps Wilkin for 5th. There's Sean Butler, 7th. Matt Grab 8th. Colson 9th, and Ashton Miller rounding your top 10 rolling off of pit road. They will come to the choose this time.
This choose can be very interesting, as do the top 2 leaders decide to go to the bottom and let Matthew White, the one of these guys on 4 fresh Goodyears, just come off pit road, take the front row, or they decide to go side by side on the choose that make Matthew White in the second row have to make a move going to turn 1.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes at the front of the field. Of course, Team Chevy Motor Club teammates Chandler and Lindsay both pitted before the stage break, so they're on the same. Everyone has enough to make it to the end now. They're good on fuel. So we're only going to restart. We're going to restart on lap 30, so just running a bunch of laps here under caution for the halfway break. Nothing matters a whole lot more at a road course than a 1.5 miles or a short track. It was the race distance. All right.
Still no Dylan Banks, so it seems like his night is done. He's basically 20 laps down, and at this point, if he did join, he couldn't really gain position to course wrecked.
That is so unfortunate, though, for Dylan Banks. After winning at Iowa a few weeks ago, not what we wanted to see. He will finish last, most likely tonight, our only car out of the race so far. Over halfway in Watkins Glen, and we got choose coming up. Who is going to choose where? Lindsay goes inside. The 8 of Chandler going to go inside. And White will be on the front row. And Benton and Donahue both go outside. That'll give the 3rd row to Richard Cherry. They're choosing back here as well. A very interesting choose there. Ford Mustangs getting all over the place. There's Ortega. We'll restart on lap 30 at the Glen. Over halfway. I mean, this could be one heck of a restart. Not this entire field. We've got, of course, a little bit older tires. Payson Lindsay up front. Outside, your leader, but from before, Matthew White. You got Benton Chandler, row number 2. They're quick. Of course, Chandler on the alternate strategy with Payson Lindsay. The Team Chevy Motor Club cars elect to flip that. The other 2 TCMC cars, full-time TCMC cars, Matt Grab and Bryce Benton were on the strategy most of the field was on tonight. One car out of the race tonight, it is Dylan Banks in 48, and he'll most likely finish in last. All right. Here we go. This could be one heck of a restart. This could possibly be the final restart of the night as well. And it's definitely more likely at a road course for that.
Definitely. And Philip Lindsay needs to get a good restart. You can't afford to be side-by-side with Matthew White. He's been dominating all race. You can't afford to be side-by-side exiting turn 1. So if you do, Matthew White's going to drive away.
Yeah, Matthew White, he has been the quickest car all race, but not by a ton, a huge margin. I mean, he only finished the stage about just under 2 seconds with the lead. Benton was quick, Donahue was quick as well, Cherry was quick, Hunsicker was Wilkin was quick, but he'll lose a few spots and restart 8th here now trying to open. Chandler could be up here. Ortega, he's going to restart about 16th. So we'll see what kind of job up through the field he can have. All right, here we go. Kind of a restarting here on lap 30 at the Glen. Payson Lindsay and Matthew White on the front row. What kind of restart can that 99 car get? Can he get away cleanly and easily? As we're back to green, yes he can. Really good restart by Payson Lindsay. We clear Matthew White. To the inside now goes Cameron Chandler here for second place as they will head back into 1 and 2. Cameron Chandler steps on the brakes pretty early there. Light around the outside of Payson Lindsay. He's going to clear for second. There is the 82 of Donahue side by side with the 9 of Benton as they head up through the inner loop, door to door here for fourth place. Donahue on the inside. Benton. Oh, Wilkin, he is sideways. He is spinning in front of the field. Caution going to come out. Trent Wilkin goes around in front of the field, and we got a stack up coming. Oh my God, a horrific crash. Andrew Stacy is airborne. Jacob Clarino's got big damage. Another car involved. There is the 70 of Ethan McMillan, a huge wreck at Watkins Glen. It all started at the 12 of Wilkin going around.
Boy,
man,
that was something. That's a very, very small corner there, and you can't really, if someone backs in front, you just got to hope you make it through, and sadly, they took up the whole track, and there was no room for anybody to go.
Let's take a look. Trenton Wilkin, ooh, yeah, just got turned by Braden Hunsaker. He gets around, gets hit by Matt Grapp. We got pretty good damage, and then he spins to the inside. And look over here, McMillan spins, he hits the wall. Look at this hit by, ooh, Andrew Stacy gets on almost upside down. My goodness, what a crash. Jacob Clarino involved, a bit of damage for Sean Hilkich there. Andrew Stacy takes a big hit. Let's ride along that 96 car. See what his angle was through this incident. Yeah, they just start spinning ahead of them. McMillan got spun by his teammate Clausen. Oh my God, look at this thing. Airborne. Oh, what a ride for Andrew Stacy. Holy.
Braden Hunsinger, after the wreck, hit the wall decently hard, where maybe has a little bit of wheel damage. If you look right after the wreck, he hits the wall decently hard. Right after the inside court spins on him, looks like maybe got a little loose going into that next corner, hits the wall decently hard.
Right, we'll see in a minute. Yeah, Matt Grabb got pretty good damage. Ortega just makes it through. So does John Butler, and then they come together over here. They all pile up. What a crash for Andrew Stacy, almost on his roof. Let's look Braden Hunsaker's angle here. See what happened with the 77 when the caution came out. Oh yeah, just gets spun by, of course, by Hunsaker. Here is Hunsaker on the 77. Oh, he gets loose and hits the wall just all by himself there. Wow. How much damage is there on that 77 car? It isn't horrible, but we'll just have to see. All right, so we're under the caution here at Watkins Glen. 20 laps to go. Yellow flag out. Big wreck. Got cars on pit road. There is Jacob Clarino. Big damage on his 33. He has shut the engine off. Trent Wilkin, he is running still. Luckily, he got stage points. That's going to kind of save him here, but he has big wheel damage. That wheel's not going in the right direction whatsoever for Trent Wilkin. Bryce Benton just got an EL penalty. Not exactly sure what it is, but he's going to drop to the rear of the field. That is big. Or no, he's now driving up through the field, so I guess not.
Yeah, I think they cleared the black flag.
All right. That must have been a mistake. He's going to have to be careful here, driving his way back up through those fields. Ooh, he's going to weave his way through traffic. Kind of a little bit dangerous moment here. Benton has some front-end nose damage. We're going to see who's going to come to pit road. I don't think Cherry's actually pitting. That's kind of a surprise. Richard Cherry going to come to pit road.
Andrew Stacy, Matt Grabb, big playoff battle comes to pit road damage.
I don't know how that 96 is still rolling. That thing was almost on his roof, and he is still rolling. Big damage, though. Same thing with Matt Grabb. Yeah, of course, like you said, Eli, both these drivers entered tonight below the playoff cut line. Sean Hilquist, he entered above the playoff cut line, but not by a lot. How much will this affect him? There's Wilkin back there as well. Not been a very good night for ETR. Sean Hilquist has some damage. Now Trenton Wilkin is really the only one holding the stable after Banks had that early DNF, and now he is with heavy damage.
I just look back at the wreck. I don't understand how Andrew Stacy's still in this race, like you said. No required repairs. His car is probably still destroyed, but the fact that he is still racing and probably still going to be on the lead lap racing is something.
We're riding along here with Trenton Wilkin, yeah. Andrew Stacy, if he can get that thing repaired, he will still be up here. We're going to watch Hunsaker. Was it any contact, or was it purely neck code? I think it was contact, unfortunately. He just gets absolutely slammed at all angles, and they crash behind him. Watch this angle from back here. Andrew Stacy, whoop! Up in the air he goes. What a wreck. Jacob Clarino, I believe, has retired from this race. too much damage to continue. So unfortunate for the driver of the 33, one of his first ever Cup starts. Not one of his, not first ever. I believe his third career Cup Series start for Jacob Clarino. Andrew Stacy, though, entered this race 15th in points, below the playoff cut line. Not what he wants to see tonight. Heavy damage in the 96. Was having an okay top 15 day, so it was manageable. Would have gotten some points, but not what he needs to see. Might exit tonight with no point scores. We're going to come to the shoes.
Now, Matthew White here, I don't know if his outside restart wasn't too bad with him. He was side by side from Mulder in turn one. It'd be very interesting to see if the choose. If he decides to go behind 99 Philip Lindsay, decides to go on the inside and let Cameron Chandler, the guy second in points, I believe, right on his outside, will take the front row.
Lindsay goes low. And that tricks why he will go low. That'll give the outside of the 8 of Cameron Chandler. But is the low side second row decent enough to get going? Benton, of course, that penalty was cleared, false penalty. He will be back up here in 4th. That means we'll restart with just 17 to go. You know, it's a long time here at the Glen still, but no, it doesn't sound like a lot. Cars rolling off pit road back here. Andrew Stacy, there's Matt Grab. He is back rolling. Same thing with Trenton Wilkin. 2 cars now out of the race. Jacob Clarino and Matt Grab. Or, I'm sorry, Dylan Banks.
Looking at the inside, look inside the cockpit of Andrew Stacy. His wheel is still straight. No, looks like wheel damage as he goes straight down this backstretch with the wheel straight. His wheel looks like completely fine. Very, 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 very surprising based off how terrible that wreck was.
I mean, he got so lucky from the sound of it. My God. I'm not really sure how he's still even rolling in the first place. All right, 17 laps to go. Payson Lindsay still with the lead of this race. Hey, remember, before he had a great restart to clear Matthew White. Now on the outside going to be Cameron Chandler. Restarting row number 2 will be Matthew White. And Cameron Chandler is back here inside the top 5. Ready to challenge Matthew White for that regular season championship. Of course, lost points because White won the stage and he scored nothing in the stage. But he's back up here ahead of Matthew White now in an alternate strategy. Let's see what the 8 car can do. Of course, tire difference going to get a little bit closer between Lindsay, Chandler, and then the rest of the field because of that early caution flag on the stage. They both have the front row still. Here we go, the Glen. Still waiting a few more cars to catch up in the back. Trenton Wilkin, I believe, is back on. There's Matt Grab and another one coming to pit. Coming to catch back up. But Payson Lindsay and Cameron Chandler going to lead this field back to the green flag at the Glen. 17 laps to go at Watkins Glen. Good, really good restart on the outside lane by the 8 of Chandler. He keeps it even with Lindsay. And here comes Matthew White. 3 wide, the race lead. Into turn number 1, they will go 3 wide. Matthew White on the inside of Payson Lindsay. Oh, he gets loose. Oh, it's Aiden Donahue who spins. There's the 8 of Chandler. They're wrecking big time. A big crash happening again. Another caution going to come out. They'll flag out again.
And maybe it looks like Matthew White might took the lead there.
Chandler spins. Donahue spins. Hunsicker spins. 3 big contenders for the win of this race. All go around. The first one that went around was Aiden Donahue. Let's take a look. So on the inside there, outside I should say is Donahue. Benton there, they're 3 wide for the lead. What happens? Oh, Donahue gets turned by Ortega, and then I believe Benton got into the 8 of Chandler, and they spin out right in front of the field. Oh my goodness, how did nobody else hit them? That is unbelievable. How everybody else was able to keep going. Let's ride along now with the 9 of Bryce Benton, because I believe he had something involved with this. Just one quick second. All right. Of course, that same 3 wide pass by Aiden Donahue down to the inside. Oh, he turns his teammate. That's unfortunate. Around goes Cameron Chandler and Braden Hunsicker in front of the field. Luckily, everybody else, for the most part, able to avoid all that, and that is so unfortunate by Bryce Benton. And he's been kind of some controversy this week. Of course, Donahue went all, I think, Might have been netcode or something, but I believe he went around by himself, if I'm not mistaken. Watch from the blimp.
Alexander Ortega, from starting in the looks like the 5th row after that restart, went 3 wide opening start, all the way up to 3rd after that caution.
Look at the seas parting for Alexander Ortega. Wow, that is unbelievable. Wow, I'm shocked. Three of the top contenders will now look here. One of the angles for Aiden Donahue closes up to see how he kind of went around. That's unfortunate for Donahue. On the outside, I should say, Benton, Ortega. I don't know. Gotta look. Run along with Alexander Ortega now. See if he did get into him or not. Now into 1. He has a huge run. He's to the inside. Oh, yeah, he got into him. That's unfortunate. Definitely not going to be a very popular move. Aiden Donahue was one of the most popular drivers in the garage. Alexander Ortega, definitely not one of the most popular drivers in especially the Cup Series garage, so I wouldn't think that one will be too popular throughout the entire league. All right, we've had now 2 cautions in a row, 3 if you include the stage break. 4th caution of the night. Matthew White is able to take the lead of this race back with 15 now to go. This race has been kind of chaotic as of late, and it's been your top runners as well.
He has a chance to cheer for Andrew Stacy to repair most of the rest of the damage after flipping. He's right now inside the top 15 after that wreck, which is point paying at the end of the race, which he's on the cut line. I think he's under the cut line right now, which him not DNFing was one thing. Him having a chance to score points at the end of this race is something else, man. He came in 15 below the cut line. Any points gained today is a blessing.
Chandler Donahue getting 4 fresh tires here. I mean, yeah, it's been like some of the top contenders, Bryce Benton, Aiden Donahue, Cameron Chandler, Braden Hunsaker, Trent Wilkin, they've all been wrecking each other as of late. Usually I would say each kind of drivers like 15th on back, but tonight, drivers 15th on back have been clean perfectly, for now at least. They've been, sorry about the voice crack, but they've been minding their own business. They've been doing really solid. Drivers in front are the ones racing so aggressively. Insane for this win. We're going to restart with only 13 to go, come to the shoes. If Matthew White's able to get a good restart here to clear pace in Lindsay and then gap Alexander Ortega, he could have this thing in his hands.
Alexander Ortega was given a fight to Bryce Benson, which is about the same lap time as Matthew White before he spun out. As I think if Alexander Ortega can get the front row here, he'll have a good chance for Matthew White to put up a battle for the lead.
Yeah, White, of course, still searching for this victory. He's definitely not the best of friends with Alexander Ortega after Chicagoland in the Cup Series this season, but they'll have to race up front with each other. Here we go, coming to the shoes. Obviously, I'm assuming White's going to go low. Payson's looking like he may go low as well. White goes low. Payson goes low as well. Ortega's going to get the front row. So will Benson's going to get row 2. Row 3 will be Miller. He goes high. And there's Cole Wilson now inside the top 10. Haverilla, Butler there as well. They all come to choose. And we're going to restart now. There's Cameron Chandler. He is going to restart 22nd. So he's got a long way through the field to even score points. Any good points.
It'll be very interesting how he does on this restart. Does he decide to force it 3 wide for Cameron Chandler, try to get as much position as he can go into turn 1, or he take it very easy? And I don't think this will be the final caution based on how these last couple of cautions will be. Everybody's been very racy, that's what we want. Everybody very racy, and I think Cameron Chandler could force it 3, maybe even 4 wide going into turn 1, try to gain as much position as he can back to gain. Try to make sure that the bleed so far that Matthew White for the points lead doesn't get even worse.
Yeah, so gonna be just 13 remaining here at the Glen. Starting to get towards the end of this thing at Watkins Glen International. This one has been really chaotic and insane all day long. 4 cautions tonight, which is, I believe, I think that might be a road course record if I'm not mistaken for the Cup Series. Road courses don't really ever see cautions. At least natural cautions. But tonight, Watkins Glen, a very, very tight road course, so once the car gets around, it could start some things. And the leaders have been fighting so hard all night long. Here we go. Alexander Ortega on the outside. Matthew White on the inside. He is back in the lead. Does Ortega have anything for him? Yup, Bryce Benton back there. Of course, drivers like Donahue falling back. Same thing with Richard Shearer. He was with down pit road, and Cameron Chandler. And Braden Onstetter. They're now inside the top 20. Here we go at the Glen. Ready to come back to green. 13 laps remain at Watkins Glen. Back to the green flag they go. Great restart by Matthew White. He's cleared Ortega, and he's clear on Payson Lindsay. Heading back into one they go. Ortega to the bumper of Matthew White. He almost gives it to him. Side by side, teammates around the outside. Here comes Bryce Benton. Ooh, Aiden Donahue goes off back there. He'll save it. Battle front, side by side. Lindsay on the inside, Benton on the outside. Up front as well for the top two positions. It's Ortega and White. And the wall goes Payson Lindsay. And he crashes with the 22 Wilson. He will save it. Oh, maybe not. Caution again. They almost had it all saved. Unfortunately, they did not. And we are under caution again in Watkins Glen.
Yeah, you Payson Lindsay a lot of credit there. That's one heck of a save. That could have been a lot worse, maybe race ending. And to somehow save that is very, very impressive.
A better angle. So with Payson Lindsay in 99, another caution flag at Watkins Glen. This is getting tiring at this point. The amount of yellows we've had. Haven't made a lap in the last 3 cautions. 5th caution of the night, which is a road course record in the Cup Series. It's not a traditional road course race that we've seen.
Looks like Bryce Benson pitched him down a little too much, put him into the wall, and the fact that he barely tapped the wall there and didn't take out more cars and end his race is something else. Yeah, I think he'll gain most of his spots back.
Oh my God, just makes it through a deep leap. He got a bit of a piece of William Reagan went through the grass into the wall ever so slightly. My goodness. We'll look at a better angle here. Running now along with the 11 of Diego Rodriguez. He was having a really solid day inside the top 15 for a lot of it. So this is unfortunate for him. There they go. Lindsay spins. He just got hit from behind, of course, by McKinney, I believe. Ran along the 01. Oh, and he gets hit by a D-Flip. He blinks out a bit. Let's now ride along, or ride from the blimp, Jamie McKinney. Just kind of a check up there. So Rodriguez, he sees McMillan. Yeah, just checks up. Nothing they could have done. And hard on the wall goes the 11. There's a wreck back there. Donahue got a piece of it. He slammed to the back of the 87, so he has some damage. See how significant it is. Caution again at Watkins Glen. 12 laps to go. And that is now the second time Bryce Benton has gotten to one of his teammates. First it was Cameron Chandler, now it's Payson Lindsay to turn him around. Bryce Benton, he was also really he's kind of getting criticized from the amount of blocking he was doing in the Xfinity race last night. So Bryce Benton, this has not really been his weekend to make friends.
No, it is not.
Rodriguez is still in the pits. He has big damage.
Also, Bryce Benson has a decent amount of front end damage. I'm worried that maybe on those front stretches where he's blocking that straight line speed maybe not there is leading to the blocks making these blocks not look very, very good. As maybe he thinks has a little bit more speed, but based off how bad that front end damage is. As it looks like, Alex Ortega faked me out for a second. I thought he was pitted from second. As looks like everybody's staying out here.
Payson Lindsay gonna pit. McKinney stays out, so does Giesbrecht. He'll pit. Cars kind of back half of the field is Donahue pitting as well as teammate Di Filippi. Hasn't been a great day for Showtime Motorsports with Donahue getting involved in now 2 accidents, back-to-back accidents here. Ashton Miller still running inside the top 4, and Connor Asmussen running outside the top 20 for the most of the day. Really hasn't had good pace. Gotta give a shout out here to Ethan McMillan. He's been fighting all day long, currently running in 12th. That is a great run by that 70 team, and his teammate, Cole Clausen, who's inside the playoff cut line, now inside the top 10 for the first time tonight.
Andrew Stacy right in front of the 70. Almost flipping. It's almost inside the top 10. Based off his shoes, he could be starting inside the top 10 after all of this.
I mean, you would never know this car was even involved in an accident. This thing has, like, no damage. He's had a couple of yellow flags to get this 96 car all repaired. So That looks pretty good. He's on the lead lap, battling for it up here. And somehow avoided any wheel damage, which is just shocking. Here's Rodriguez back on pit road. Wilkin is on the racetrack now, but he's 3 laps down.
Cameron Chandler from that restart. He started outside the top 20 up to 15, took it 3 lines in turn 1 to start that opening restart. He's gained a couple spots. Maybe if he gets outside the top 10 and gets one more caution, he might have a chance to get Matthew White or get anywhere close to him. He probably needs one more caution, maybe a couple of spots to get inside the top 10 to have a chance.
So we'll be coming to the shoes this time by at the Glen. Gonna be 9 laps to go when we go back green. So that is closing 10 laps of this race, that means. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be interested to see if we see kind of maybe the same kind of choose go on here.
I think it'll be the same. The top 2 will go to the bottom, and Bryce Benson will take the front row. I think that's how it'll go. If I'm Ortega, I might start on the outside, but based off how good the bottom restart has been, I think he has to stay right behind Matthew White. Choose right here.
White goes low. Ortega maybe gonna take the front row. Bit of a risk. No, he's not. He goes low.
No, bottom.
Oh no, he goes out. No, he will take the front row. Ooh, was that too late? You can't cross.
I think that might have been too late there. That was close. Looks like he's close to the middle there. Where if he gets a penalty or not.
This is a replay. It's close. I don't know.
Close.
It's hard to call.
That's a 50-50 call there. Based off what they called Matthew White last night, I think he might call that for Alexander Ortega, but we'll see. Very, very risky choose there if he gets away with it.
I don't know. It was close because he was mostly there on the side he wanted to be at when he finally moved over where the start-finish line was. But it's close. It's really, really close. Maybe like a few inches more could have been different, but currently right now he's not getting a penalty. So I think he is okay. Just avoided that.
They gave Matthew White the penalty last night after they exit the bus stop. So I think after we exit the bus stop here, we'll see if he gets a penalty or not.
Ortega is still up here battling for the win. Currently nothing yet.
And if he does get a penalty, that puts Cole Wilson from 6th to the front row.
That is just what the shoes does here. And then, of course, the driver's having issues. So currently, yes, he's not getting a penalty. We have... Back live here once again. Sorry about that. We have 9 to go here. So Ortega, I believe, escapes a penalty. Lucky for him. It was a very fine line there, but I think he's going to be okay. I wouldn't have called it, and I'm not going to call it. Because that was, I don't know, it's kind of close to call it. I don't think there's enough evidence that he was across it, and not that he wasn't on the side he wanted at the time. I think he was really, really close, but it was mostly okay. So we're going to come back to the green with Matthew White and Alexander Ortega on the front row. Under 10 laps to go at the Glen. Let's see if we get a lay cleanly this time. The drivers up front have been racing so aggressively. We've had a lot of contact and a lot of wrecks inside the top 5 and top 10. 9 to go at the Glen. Pace car back in. Matthew White, Ortega, front row, back to green. Matthew White is gone. Ortega now almost side by side with the 9 of Benton. Wilson getting pushed for that 29 of Richard Cherry as they will head back into 1 and 2. Cherry going to go 3 wide on the inside as they make contact. Benton and Wilson. Wilson goes wide. So does Habrilla as they head up through the inner loop. Side by side, there is Cherry to the inside of the 22 of Wilson. He will go wide once again. 3 wide. Ashton Miller has to back out of it. They make contact. Habrilla into the wall. So Ortega's spinning into the fence. We keep it green. He saves it.
Keep it green.
Oh, and they almost hit him, but Ortega has spun.
On his own. He spun on his own. Looks like exiting the corner there. And good black. Yeah, he just lost the exiting the corner there, and that hurts him a lot. It looks like he's pulled back outside the top 10, maybe top 15, as Matthew White has a decent gap to Bryce Benson. Will Bryce Benson have any shot at catching Matthew White here?
Ortega, of course, he hit the wall. He ended up saving the race car. Didn't go fully around. We stay green. Matthew White trying to maybe start to edge that gap, but will Bryce Benson have anything for him? Side by side now, Ashton Miller and the 50 of Connor Havrilla. We also got contact behind here. Look at this battle. There's the 53 Matt Evans giving the bumper to the 81 of John Hilgridge, and he's crashing to the pit lane. Around he goes. Will stay green, I believe. Yes, he will. No reason for a caution there, but Matt Grab does have damage. To the inside goes Aiden Donahue and Cameron Chandler. This is for 11th place. What a restart by Donahue.
After all that, Andrew Stacy's up to 8th. What a race for him. Now inside the top 8, you're going to get great points at finishes like this. As Matthew White's going the four-way a little bit, as Bryce Benson now under attack of Richard Cherry. Richard Cherry looked to the inside for second.
Here comes Cherry. They make contact. Cherry goes wide. He's going to lose maybe 3 spots. Oh, Connor Havrilla is turning Cherry. They both save it.
He saves it.
And we stay green. My goodness.
Bryce Benson had everybody today except the pace car.
Oh! Havrilla's sideways. In front of the pack. He saves it again. Oh, McMillan. Oh, my God. McMillan. Oh, we got a car nearly upside down. This is going to be a caution. My goodness.
Yeah,
another crash.
On the back stretch.
Caution out. And now we got asphalt spinning. What
now
is going on? Oh, my God. I have never seen any, I don't even know what to say. This has got to be the most chaotic road course race I've ever seen in my life. And I'll start, I mean, they probably should have crashed about 15 times ago. Somehow they did.
Yeah, it looks like 70 done. His left front tire's not moving. Nice, he hits the wall like that.
Really just loses it by himself. Ethan McMillan, oh my God, look at him. And then Pace and Lindsay almost on his roof. Oh my God, and they look at everyone somehow avoid them. No one else hit them, those two. Somehow. So caution still came at Connor Aswell got hooked. We'll see how that happened real quick. I mean, that was, I don't even know what to say. Oh, Aswell just spun out by himself. Let's ride along here with the 70 of Ethan McMillan. He has damage. I don't know why he just ran into the back of him. Oh my God, Mason Lindsay. Holy. Wow. And Alexander Ortega, with all that chaos, still up to 13th after hitting the wall and saving it. Narrow looking from the blimp.
Oh, the 22 just got turned under caution. Oh, Wilson just got turned under caution.
We're going to take a look real quick, try to find Cole Wilson. What happened to him? We are live, and there he is. Oh, he is not happy with somebody, obviously. He's going to go back to his spot. Will he give any retaliation? Got to be careful of that. We're going to take a look once he gets to his spot. What actually happens? I don't know who it was.
It might have been Ashton Miller, I think.
He is definitely not happy.
Yeah, he's not happy.
What happened? We'll take a look real quick here.
Richard Cherry from 6th pitting. Very interesting. Has a little bit of front end damage there.
So we'll take a look what happened here. This is under caution, under the pace car. So Miller, did they just come together? Is that what happened there?
I think Wilson just tried to cut down. He wasn't there. I think Miller gave him a little bit of room, but still, that's a bang thing. I don't know if you can really say he turned him, but still, very unexpected under caution. I think she gave him a little bit more room. He's not even on the racing line.
I mean, that is so interesting. Now, obviously, Cole Wilson shows this displeasure, but still, I don't know. I would put that on both. I would put blame on maybe both of them, but probably more so on Ashton Miller. McMillan, he has got big damage. He was having a good day. Same thing with the 50 of Connor Havrilla. He was also having a really solid day. Mason Lindsay also having a really solid day. He's got big damage.
Yeah, here's the 50. He was +5 heading today on the cut line. Now on pit road, try to finish this race at the 50 of Connor.
I mean, this is going to be such a huge playoff cut line shakeup. We'll have to see how it all goes.
And after all this, Andrew Stacy's now, it looks like he's going to restart 9th after all that wrecking and everything. With him -15 to the cut line, it's the 50 right on the cut line +5 having damage. Andrew Stacy could possibly be ahead of the cut line after tonight after that big wreck he had.
And this has probably been the most insane Watkins Glen race I've ever seen. I thought last night's Cup race was insane, or Xfinity race was insane, I should say. But my God, this one has just topped all of that.
After Bryce Benson basically hit everything, he is still second, has a chance at the win.
Yeah, but Bryce Benson definitely not the most popular driver in the garage this week. Both Cup and Xfinity. Coming to the choose with 5 to go. That means we'll restart with 4 to go. Fortunate for Alexander.
As I said
Ortega,
before this, under the last caution, Cameron Chandler is inside the top 10 and got a caution that he needs. So maybe not a chance of winning, but definitely a possibility of making up most of these points that he would have lost today, as he's hopefully maybe gets a top 5 out of this.
Matthew White letting everybody know he's going low. Benson, he'll go low as well. That'll give the front row to Cole Wilson and Ashton Miller. Oh, God. Yeah, we know what happened between these two just a few moments ago. How about Cole Clausen inside the top 5? What? How did this happen? Braden Huntsicker, he's back up here. So is the 0-1 of McKinney. Aiden Donahue inside the top 10 now. Same thing with Cameron Chandler and Andrew Stacey. Still got 4 laps to settle it at Watkins Glen. And this thing is not over yet.
Now, will we go overtime racing like we did last night, Xfinity Series race? Went to overtime. I think tonight, I hope they stay green. We've had so much yellows tonight that near the end of this thing, wouldn't be surprised if we get another one, but I hope we stay green. It would be very interesting to finish with Matthew White and Cole Wilson in the front row.
I mean, a typical Cup Series, or maybe even Xfinity Series road course race is 1, 2 cautions, long green flag runs. This has not been that tonight. Maybe the first run we had was long, maybe 20 or so laps, but other than that, my God, it has been, after the stage break, been chaos. We got 4 to go. That's some running, but not a whole lot of crashing after that with a lot of your front runners. We've seen so many comers and goers. Now we got front row, Matthew White, Cole Wilson, Benton, Miller, Clausen, Huntsicker, McKinney, Chandler, Donahue, Ortega. Ortega gains 2 spots versus the choose, and he'll be in 10th. Matthew White definitely still the favorite to win this race on the front row. But he's not safe of any chaos that could happen on his bumper. We know Cole Wilson is always aggressive. We know but Bryce Benton, he's been so aggressive this week. Miller still sniffing that first win. What's going to happen? 4 to go.
Yeah, but Matthew White's been backing up these corners a little bit in his turn 1. I'm worried Bryce Benson, based off how much he hit everybody tonight, might run into the back of Matthew White. Matthew White's been backing up turn 1 as we come to the restart.
Here we go. 4 laps to go to Glen. This one could finish it off. Back to green. Matthew White, a great restart. Bryce Benson now to the inside of Cole Wilson as they will head back into 1. Side by side for the second place. Huntsicker, a big send down there as well, as they are almost clean as Ortega goes wide. There's the 8 of Chandler. Door to door for P2. Heading back up through the inner loop. There's a 77 of Braden Huntsicker trying to get in here as well. They're still side by side. Ashton Miller. Oh, he's going to turn. Go Wilson. Into the wall goes the 22. He will save it. We keep green. Benson's got second. Third is Huntsicker. Fourth, Howell Cameron Chandler. And fifth, Ortega.
How bad it totally damages Cole Wilson as we enter the bus stop here. It seems right now so far as it looks like we have a car on the grass there. As it looks like he might get turned. You know, he saves it. 71 saves it. There's Cole Wilson. Very did not want that as he started second. Now all this damage as Matthew White out in front by a lot as battle for second, Bryce Benson.
Yeah, with all that battling, White is gone by 1.5 seconds over Braden Huntsicker, who just got second place, away from Bryce Benson. Here we go, battle for P2. Oh, Huntsicker's gonna turn him! And they're crashing. There goes Ortega. There goes the 8 of Chandler. Can they all save it? Oh my God. How did they keep it all going? We stay green. Look at this mess. 3 to go.
Right, no one else hit him. It's insane itself.
Donahue is the third. McKinney to fourth. What is happening? Oh, Ortega is not happy. Reagan is spinning ahead of Connor Asbell. Oh, 3 laps to go. The chaos is still ramping up. car on the wall. Donahue,
What?
he's third.
Braden Hunsinger starting near last, is up to second, with Matthew White with a big lead after all that chaos behind him. Hoping for no more caution as we're coming back to 2 to go. Matthew White good. Let's stop there as Braden Hunsinger hoping for a yellow to get a chance with Matthew White. As Andrew Stacy's almost in the top 5 after this, trying to go get Cole Wilson for 5th.
Contact now. John Butler and Sean Hilquich. This battle just outside the top 10, I believe, for 14th. There's Bryce Benson. He's back to 9th after almost getting spun around. Cameron Chandler back to 8th. It has been one heck of a race for Bryce Benson. Coming at 2 laps to go this time by Hunsicker. Isn't going away from Matthew White, but does he have enough time? Ooh. Crossover now for John Butler. Back to the inside of Hilquich.
Hunsinger won 100 faster, but that's not enough. 2 laps to go, 2 seconds back.
Benson to the inside of his teammate Matt Graff. 3 TCMC cars running right here as they'll head up to the inner loop yet again. Oh, out. Now the 28 of Ortega goes around in front of the field. I think we're going to stay green. That was in front, not really too many cars, so we stay green. There's Havrilla, and here is Matthew White down the back straightaway. Donahue just got second, and Braden Hunsinger has damage.
What happened to Braden Hunsinger?
He is slow down the back straightaway. Now he gets passed by Clausen. Oh my goodness.
Oh, he spun out to 80. He got loose in 82. Hit him and hit the wall. He's hard.
He goes wide, 3 wide. Here comes Benson, Matt Graff as well, and here comes the 8 of Chandler. Oh, Matt Graff is spinning. He gets turned into the wall in front of Hilquich. We stay green, everyone out of the way, and we're coming to the white flag. Here comes Matthew White to make it official. Finally, 1 to go. Donahue in second. Third now, Jamie McKinney. It is still an absolute dogfight back here. Cameron Chandler to the inside of Bryce Benson for 7th place. Final laps underway. Here's, oh, Benson got a spin in front of Chandler. Around goes Bryce Benson. And now Cameron Chandler goes wide. As they race side by side, there is the 11 Rodriguez. Final top through the inner loop, side by side, Cole Wilson and Cole Clausen for 5th place.
Andrew Stacy passing Cole Wilson. Andrew Stacy, all that's up to 4th as Cole Wilson is trying to hang on at this end as Cole Wilson gets passed going into the bus stop.
Cole Clausen. Clausen currently burned, and now Wilson crashes! Into the wall goes Cole Wilson. They're side by side. Ashton Miller and the 29 of Richard Cherry. They're door-to-door, final couple of positions, but here comes Matthew White rounding the final corner. It's been a couple of months since he last went to victory lane, but he's back. 3rd win of the season. He'll extend his championship lead. Matthew White gonna win at the Glen. 2nd Donahue. Look at this battle back here. There's Cherry getting loose. The 79 of Miller drag race coming to the line. Miller gonna finish 6th. Cherry 7th. 8th, the 09 of Butler. Hunsicker, Chandler at the line. Wow.
Their car's flipping going into turn 1.
I don't even know what to say. Oh my. Matthew White, 17th career victory. It happens at the Glen. 3rd win of the year. 1st since he went back-to-back. Race number 2, and race number 3. He's back, 14th race of the year, back in victory lane. And will extend his points lead greatly over Cameron Chandler. Wins the stage, wins the pole, wins the race. And somehow made his way through the chaos. I don't even know what to say. That was one of the most chaotic races I think I've ever seen. No, but I mean, I don't even know what to say.
That was probably I've never seen a race like this. Like, this was one of the best races I've ever seen. So much battling, a lot of contact. It wasn't the cleanest race, but very, very entertaining race as Matthew White comes out victorious today, getting bumps from the 82 of Aiden finished 2nd.
Aiden Donahue gets 1 spot better than he finished the season ago. I mean, what a drive through the field by Aiden Donahue. Avoided all that chaos. He was back outside the top 20. About 10 to go, and now he's finishing 2nd.
After all that, Bryce Benson finishes just outside of points in 18th. Very disappointing for him after starting, I think he was in the 2nd row on that final restart.
Wow. I wow. I think there's only one
Post
word for
race can
that.
be
Wow.
something.
Oh yeah, it is.
Post race can be something. I don't want to be in that VC. How bad that's gonna be.
Probably a lot of unhappy drivers with each other. I mean, my goodness. And then after all of that, where did Bryce Benton even finish? Hunsaker's
Right
race
outside of
was...
points, 18th.
Wow, that is unfortunate for the 9. He finishes 18th place, Hunsaker at 9th. He'll gain a lot on Benton for 3rd in the points. And this made
And
Cameron...
after all of that, I've said enough time. Andrew Stacy finishes 4th after flipping, passing Cole Wilson that final lap for a top 5, and then the 77 of Hunsinger having his spin at the end. Is Andrew Stacy finishing 4th is something. That playoff cut line has shrank a lot as Matthew White burned it down.
Yeah, Connor Haverhill going to finish 21st tonight. That is not good at all for him. He got, I think, a couple of stage points. Andrew Stacy, that's his first top 5 of the season, and that is a huge amount of points. We're going to have to see how the whole playoff cut line shakes up. It'll be updated during post-race interviews. What a race. Matthew White, 3rd win of the season. I mean, I thought that after last season, this race was going to be unbelievable. I didn't think it was going to be like this. This was a new level of just unreal. I mean, nobody...
That was insane.
Nobody gave up. Literally nobody. Everyone in the field. I think there was 23 or so cars running at the end of the race. There's just most of the field still at the end of the race here at the Glen. Nobody gave up. Nobody was giving an inch. None of your leaders were giving an inch. Everyone was pushing so hard. You could see the passion. You could see the adrenaline and just the unbelievable show that got put on at the Watkins Glen International tonight.
Only one that was safe was first race Matthew White. But then again, if you look back early in the race, he was 3 wide at one point. If you ever thought Watkins was going to be 3 wide, but the only place that was safe for that whole final restart and everything was the lead of Matthew White, and he came out victorious.
And the FU Cancer cars will finish 1-2. That's very, very nice. Matthew White, Aiden Donahue. Former teammates at Highline Motorsports. Of course, Donahue moving to his own team, Showtime Motorsports, and he's going to finish 2nd. His teammate, Ashton Miller, comes home in 6th, so 2 top 10s for that organization, getting 1 point, 1 race point tonight, a singular point for Connor Asbell. And that'll do it, Watkins Glen. Oh, he'll blow the motor. Post-race interviews are coming up from the Watkins Glen International. We got a lot to break down after this one. My goodness. All right. So we got post-race coming up in just a moment or so. Matthew White back to victory lane. The last time he won was end of April, beginning of May, back at in Sonoma, beginning of May. Now in August, he is back in victory lane. Been a while. But 17th career win for your Season 1 Cup Series champion. And he looks to win his 3rd regular season championship. All right. We got post-race interviews coming up from the Watkins Glen International. What a day. So, Eli, you don't have to, but if you're interested, do you want to help with interviews? You would just do the second question?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
All right. As we welcome you live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Watkins Glen post-race show. What an absolutely insane race that was. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it in my life. That was unbelievable. And we got post-race interviews coming up from Watkins Glen. All right. We're going to wait for Matthew White about a moment or so to see if he joins for a post-race interview. He's your winner, and this is his 5th straight road course win. That is insane for Matthew White. Definitely probably the road course king in the Cup Series. He's so good on these road courses, and well, the most laps tonight ended up with the victory. And we're going to give him about maybe 30 more seconds. Hopefully he joins for a post-race interview. He doesn't really like to do this for some reason. This is kind of annoying, but 6 cautions tonight. That is a road course record. Easily. Matthew White, so far, he's not going to get an interview. He's too shy for that, apparently. All right, we got posters interviews coming up. Going to be, first of all, your second place finisher, Showtime, Aiden Donahue. Aiden Donahue, I don't even know what to say with this race. You finished second somehow after being outside the top 20 with under 20 laps to go. Just take me through the unbelievableness that went up in front of you.
All right, ready? Y'all gotta follow along. It was great. It wasn't. It was great. It wasn't, and it was great again. um, we I guess Ortega missed a corner and wrecked us there on one of the restarts, which caused us to go further back. Then I got in a little scuffle the restart after that, so that's when it was bad. But going from 21st to 8th in a lap is some of the craziest things I've ever done. And nonetheless, I'm just happy that I got at least to finish second. I wish it was different though, like how it was last season. I actually wanted to fight Matt for the win, but I never had the chance to. I was always like rather third or 20th. So nonetheless, super happy for him. He earned it. He deserves it, and I know he's very happy right now. So big shout out to him. He is so amazing at road courses, and the fact that I was even able to keep up with him and Ortega, just don't quit, I guess, is the attitude on this one.
Aiden Donahue, great finish for you in second. How do you all those restarts in? How do you go through those final restarts, trying to make sure you don't get involved in all those wrecks at the end? All those big wrecks taking up most of the track. How do you avoid those wrecks without getting rear-ended or anything? Because basically, almost everyone tonight has gotten a wreck.
Hope and pray, brother. That's all you do. No, you just usually like you follow the racing rules. Like if they're spinning, you usually go straight for them, and then they're out of the way. But sometimes you have to maneuver around. But yeah, that one restart I went from deep in the field to 8th. I missed like 3 wrecks. So like I don't know. You just get lucky, and fortunately you get put in places where you're able to just make it through the carnage. But yeah, that was I want to say it was a fun race, but I know everybody else is gonna be yelling and screaming at everyone else. So I'm just kind of glad I got to witness the chaos.
All right, Aiden. Well, of course, amazing job in this comeback to finish second. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Wow. So when's the next time we will see you?
You will see me the Kansas Xfinity race on September 3rd. That's the next time you'll see me.
All right.
Because I had a lot of fun there last season, so we're gonna rip the fence and do all that stuff again.
All right, and well, of course, a really nice job coming on P2. We'll see you, of course, in Kansas in a few short weeks where you have really good success there in the Xfinity Series. That's where you won your championship there a couple of seasons ago, so we'll see you then.
Yes, sir. See you, man.
That was Aiden Donahue. What a result. What a finish. What a day at the Glen. Man. All right, coming up next is Jamie McKinney, 3rd place tonight. Jamie McKinney, how did you make your way all through that chaos to finish in 3rd tonight? That was insane. What a finish. Great finish for you guys. Top 3. You really got early in the race. I think you got some damage. We hit, I think, Ashton Miller or somebody, or his Mac Grab actually. And then...
It was my teammate. Well, not really teammate, but affiliate, Jacob. But that was because I got turned. But things happen.
Yeah, but so how do you drive your way through the field there at the end of the race, avoid most of the chaos to finish 3rd?
I don't know, man. I mean, I think I'm pretty decent at the track. I mean, Matthew was long gone from everybody. He was the only guy who didn't wreck this race, and I don't know. Like early in the race, Braden accidentally dumped me, and I got extra damage from Jacob hitting me when he saw me come up out of nowhere when I was like currently getting dumped. But I was mostly at the back, just buying my time, and then speed cautions as everybody just decided that they didn't care anymore and just started wrecking each other, which was kind of interesting.
Yes. And Eli, if you have a question.
Jamie McKinney, great finish for you. How that final restart, you're about 10th. How would you manage to avoid all the carnage at that very last restart to get all the way up to third?
I don't know, man. I just drove the wheels off the thing and tried to get the best finish I could for TCMC. Um, I don't know, like Aiden and Matthew, they were really fast. I mean, even Braden was and Cameron and others. I mean, they were really fast, but they wrecked each other, I think. But only two made it out alive, and I was just there to capitalize on everybody else's misfortune, and I got the P3.
All right, Jamie. Well, of course, when is the next race we'll see you in?
I don't know. I think the last one, at least for this semester, will be Indy next week, and then school will be starting again, so I'll be really busy then. But yeah, I will try Indy and see what happens.
All right, so Jamie McKinney, of course, amazing top three finish for you guys here at the Glen after an unbelievable race, and we will see you coming up next week for the Brickyard 400.
Yep.
Next up, Andrew Stacy finished 4th. Andrew Stacy, best finish by far of the season, your first top 5, and this is huge in the point standings. We got to talk about your night. You were nearly upside down, literally almost upside down, and you finished with a top 5 finish after repairing all the damage. Just take me through all of that in the closing laps.
So I was just really frustrated all race. We were pretty slow. Got into some incidences. Like you said, we went airborne there, hit the catch fence. Surprisingly, only left front damage, just aero. No wheel damage, nothing. So it was only waited for a minute 30. We were back out there and we got into a rhythm. We realized everyone was wrecking, so we thought our best bet was to be kind of not a very aggressive racer and try to maximize on those turn 1 checkups, and we would just split the middle every time, and we slowly gained 3 to 4 spots every single time we did that, and we eventually ended up in the top 10, and a lot of carnage happened, and we ended up in a top 5 position. So we should be around 8 to 5 points off the cutoff, so we're back in the game after Nashville.
Andrew Stacy, great race for you. I'm still shocked at the fact that your car wasn't absolutely destroyed after being in the air, but great finish for you. Cut the points gap to maybe and possibly be in the playoffs, but very close to that, Colin. How's this momentum after a P4 finish move over to Indy next week?
I've always been good with a fixed setup at Indy with these next gens. I feel confident I can get a good, decent finish there. Obviously, our goal will be to be better than Connor Havila. Try to maximize those stage points. We've been looking at some other driver strategies, and we've been trying to mix them into ours, and it's been working. We're just gonna try to have a nice clean race, get some good points. We still have Daytona we're talking about. We still have a few more races to go, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a very close fight for the final playoff spots.
All right, Andrew, you move up 3 spots in the points. You're just going to be -4 to your teammate Connor Havrillo in the playoff cut line and 13th in points. So it's a very real possibility. So we got 4 races remaining in the regular season: Indianapolis, Richmond, and then Kansas and Daytona to end it off. So we'll see you at the Brickyard 400 next week, where you try to make even a bigger indent on the playoff grid. Coming on P5, Cole Clausen. What a finish for him. Cole Clausen, top 5 on a road course. That is impressive for your team. Man, what a finish for you guys. You made your way through all of the chaos. You were in the grass there at the end of the race as well, but you still hung on to a top 5 finish. Take me through how you made it through all of that to finish 5th.
I mean, this is just an absolute blessing, man. I cannot believe that I got a top 5 on a road course. I would never believe that if you told me that. But yeah, that race definitely was chaotic. But you know, I got driven through there at the end too by McKinney. He literally just sent it through me on that bus stop, and then everyone like Wilson just came in from behind, and I think I lost like a spot or two from that, but I don't even care. I mean, McKinney did apologize, which I respect him for. But yeah, I know Hunsicker caused a big one, and he definitely should be getting some kind of penalty for that. And then Havrilla just took out my teammate McMillan, which McMillan was doing all right, but he spun out coming out of the outer loop, and then just literally parked it in the middle of the track when there's cars going too wide behind him, coming around him at 50 miles per hour faster. So he's just an idiot. He's been causing some stuff all season long, and I mean he definitely deserves a penalty for what Havrilla did there. So, but yeah, this race was absolutely amazing. This does absolute wonders for me in the playoffs, and just really excited after this one.
Cole Clausen came in tonight plus 11 a cut line. Great finish in P5 tonight. Started 15th, but great finish in P5. How he carried this momentum of a top 5 finish on a road course to the Brickyard 400?
Yeah, Brickyard 400 last season went horrible for me, so I feel like it's going to be just another chaotic race this time around. So I really just want to survive the chaos there, and just as long as we can rack up some points here, and we should be good to go for the playoffs after this success here at the Glen. So yeah, just really excited. Me and McMillan are rocking some awesome police cars. He had the New York State Trooper. I had the New York Police Department. So that was really cool. But yeah, just really, really happy night. I know there's a lot of guys that aren't happy, but I'm one of the ones that is very happy.
All right, Cole Clausen. Well, of course, amazing job on that really, really chaotic top 5 finish for you guys. I'm going to carry good momentum. You're going to exit plus 20 to the good on the cut line after tonight. We'll see you at the Brickyard 400 next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coming up next, going to be Ashton Miller, 6th place. Ashton Miller, very up and down day for you guys, just like everybody else in the field, it feels like. Going to be P6, though, overall. So not a bad finish at all. Top 10 finish. You extend for now your 12th top 10 of the year, which is now, I think, over two or three of anyone else. So got the most top 10s on the season. You get another very good finish. Just take me through some of the highlights of your night.
If there even is a highlight. Well, we got up to the front. We got to 4th. We stayed 4th, with 10 to 5 to go, and then just chaos erupted after that. There were so many wrecks. We got to the hole a couple of times, which is my bad. I really didn't mean to get into him, but I mean, the race overall, it might as well have been a wreck fest with how many spins there were. But honestly, I'm happy to walk away with a top 10. We're still in the hunt. We're still in playoff contention, so I'm happy about that.
All right, so
Ashton,
oh, sorry.
you good? Go ahead.
No, you can.
All right, Ashton Miller, great finish for you, P6. Great race for you. Very chaotic race. That near that final restart, how'd you manage all that carnage, all those wrecking near the end of the race with the 77 of Brandon Hunsinger wrecking on the final? How'd you try to avoid all that and get through all that on the final lap?
I mean, honestly, I feel like it was just luck. It was just us trying to go through the field after us getting sent to the back. But I mean, I can't believe we finished where we were. I thought I was gonna either get wrecked or something. But I'm just happy that we survived and that we got into the, top 10. Honestly, our goal might just be finish top 10 every single week, and I guess it's working for us. But I'm glad where we finished.
All right, Ashton. Well, still, of course, nice job on the run overall tonight, finishing in 6th place, top 10 finish, your 12th of the season, which is by far the most of anybody. And we'll see you at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Brickyard 400 next week.
Thank you.
P7 is Richard Cherry. Richard Cherry, unbelievable race all around for everybody tonight. So, of course, you guys, I don't think you were involved in any crashes tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you pitted a couple times there at the end. You ultimately will finish in 7th place. So, what was it just like out there? All of the chaos going on. What was it like on track? And then Cheery.
I think he left.
All right, there we go. Cheery, I don't know if you heard my question or not.
Yeah, I heard it. All right, I'm gonna have to stand up and explain my point of view. You're absolutely wrong when it comes to an Rex, because what I saw, I'm gonna tell my grandkids in 50 years. Hey, on August 7th, 2025, I ran a Watkins Glen race, and it was absolutely carnage. I'm gonna describe it to them like if it was the damn Middle Age, like tortures in the Middle Age or something, because that was bad. Like, holy shit. I mean, you go in the first part and it's all right, you know. Rector Ortega, unfortunately, there it was my fault. I was on the outside, lost the car there, and spun him out. Apologies to him. Then we have the rest of the stage running green and everything. I'm slow as a fucking turtle. And then in the second stage, what was seen there, well, it wasn't even seen in the Battle of Midway. So, you know, just let that alone. And we even saw Bryce Benton wreck like 4 people. We saw Ashton Miller wreck Cole Wilson in the yellow. I hope, Eli, because Ethan, you cannot do that. Eli, I hope you grab popcorns at some point and just start eating them while you watch this race. That was just, I don't know, man.
That was something. Richard, very good finish there. At the final restart, looks like you restarted near outside the top 20. How would you manage to get all the way through up to 7th to finish the race and like starting 20th on that final restart?
You wouldn't want to know, but you're gonna have to know. Well, I saw smoke. There was more smoke than in the Dion factories in the 1900s. You would see, not the breeze, because it's impossible for iRacing to get the breeze system right, or I don't know. And so car sideways. I mean, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight about this race.
All right, Richard Cherry. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the war on the track tonight, and we'll see you.
I didn't.
We'll see you obviously in Indianapolis next week for the Cup race.
If I don't win Indianapolis, or if I don't contend for the win at Indianapolis, you send me to work to McDonald's again. See you.
Oh, okay. Anyways, coming up next is John Butler finishes 8th. John Butler, what a race all around. You guys get another top 10 finish. I'm gonna check real quick, but I believe this. You're gonna be 7th in points still. This is your 10th top 10 finish of the season, which is just behind Matthew White and Ashton Miller for the most. So another amazing run for you guys. Still P7 in points. Just take me through some of the highlights of the night.
I just gotta thank these Logitech Pro pedals. Last season, the old ones, terrible. I couldn't do anything on it, but these new pedals, I could be more consistent and everything. Start off the race at practice, I thought I was pretty slow, but the race I found like I was in the middle ground. I mean, I wasn't with the fast guys, but I wasn't with the slow guys. So I was just pacing and finished, I think, 7th in the stage. And then after that, all hell break loose. I mean, everyone's just acting like idiots at this point. Everyone's racing so aggressive. Just not even turn 1. Everyone was forced to hit 3 wide in turn 1 for some reason. I was backing out of that, and then people don't slow down for crashes. I mean, crashes happen right going up the S's. No one's slowing down. Big crash behind. And then people kept getting aggressive. And over time, I mean, I started 14th because I got damage from another crash. And I went from 14th to 8th just from driving safe. So it was a chaotic one, to say the least.
John Butler, great result for you tonight at P8. You're running about that same spot, around top 10 most of the race. Very consistent day for y'all. Very good race. How do you think of those final wrecks near the end? How to avoid those to get a good top 10 finish?
I just think people were just driving like idiots. I mean, someone spun after turn one and didn't even hold the brakes, almost took half of the people out behind me. So people was definitely driving way over their head for some reason. And it was not like that last season. Last season, everyone was calm. Maybe it's more people, but it's just everyone driving over their head, acting like idiots, spinning out. But I was able to avoid it. But thanks to my spotter, Barry Cohen Jr., my boy. So he did a good job spottering today. Was way more than last season, to say the least. And he said he enjoyed the race. Was less boring than the last one because we had no cautions last season. So I think it wasn't a decent race, but it was okay race.
All right, John. Well, still, nice job. Another 8th place finish on the top 10 on the day, and we'll see you in Indianapolis next week.
All right, make sure to look out for that Fall Guys Season 6 scheme.
Coming up next, going to be, believe. Let's take a look. I can't actually find it. I think it's Ortega, I believe. Ortega finished. Well, it's actually technically going to be
15th.
Max DiFilippi, but we're running short on time, so we have to skip him. We're going to go straight to Alexander Ortega. Alexander Ortega, of course, what an insane race for you guys. You went back and forth through the fields all day long. Unfortunately, there at the end, you'll finish in 15th place. So what happened ultimately to finally put the nail in the coffin for you guys' race to finish 15th?
Oh man. Hang on, I got a notebook here, about 5 pages long. It was going really, really well. I mean, we fired off second, just like the Xfinity race yesterday, but I felt like we were a little faster than Matthew, and we're keeping with him and closing in on him. And that first caution came out, and we got a really good restart, and we're racing side by side to the bus stop, and neither of us backed out. And so he kind of put me way on the curb, and I bottomed out on the curb up into him. And so I was trying to kind of let him have the side by side at least back into the carousel because I don't want to just destroy him for the spot. And then we ended up 3 wide with Cherry on the outside. And Matthew then got into me again in the carousel, which then let Bryce get to my inside, and Matthew cleared. And then Cherry on exit the carousel just lost talent over the bump, and I ended up being the innocent bystander and all that, and got hooked in front of the field, and was on the middle of the track, and we didn't get a caution for some reason, which was fun. And so I spent the whole stage driving back through the field. I think we were up to like 15th by the end, like at the stage end, which, man, 15th, I just realized. But we got to 15th. I knew Cameron and a few others, I think, had flipped the stage, so I knew I was going to lose a spot or two probably on pit road, but we still came out of pit road in 15th. Gained a few rows on the choose, and had a really good restart to gain 7 spots and go from like 15th to just inside the top 10 or wherever we were after the choose. And so into the top 10 finally, another restart, another really good restart. And then I think I got into Aiden Donahue a little bit, which I felt really bad about because I wasn't trying to drive through him. He took a wide line and I shot to the middle, and there wasn't much room, and it spun him out. And then Cameron got spun out, and everyone was spinning everywhere. But then we were up to like the front row on the next restart, and Matthew takes a really, really slow line into turn 1. I had nowhere to go, slammed into the back of him on the first lap right after the restart. That gave me a little bit of front end damage, and so we get another caution for a wreck in the S's. And next restart, same kind of thing. Matthew brakes really, really early. I shot to his outside this time and tried to make it stick out there, but there's just nothing really up there. It gets so loose over the curb, and so he barely cleared, but I was staying close. And then the front end damage through the S's, it took off. I mean, the whole front end, it was like, I wasn't expecting it. The whole front end it was like you ripped the whole front end off. And I ate the fence, and it shot the whole front end and rear off the ground, and spun out into the wall in front of the field again, and it wasn't a caution again, which I don't get. Started trying to recover from that, got back into the top 5 again after that happened, and then got murdered by, I guess, Hunsicker and Benton got together in front of us, and Cameron tried to avoid it and he cut right across my nose trying to avoid it. So that spun me out again. And we started trying to drive back through the field again and got up to like I think close to the top 10. And then I don't know if it was my fault if I just got loose or if I got doored a little bit, spun out of turn 1, and then gained a lot of spots back there that one lap in the last lap just to get driven into a stopped Bryce Benton by DeFlippy, which sucked because that was at least a spot or two we were going to get out of it, and he just forced me into a stop race car before the line. So just a lot of bad, I think, luck kind of got us today. Obviously, we were really, really fast, but, I guess we're just paying back what we owe for stealing one yesterday as the second, third fastest car, but definitely not how we wanted to end the race.
All right, Alexander, was still nice job running on the still nice job on the run tonight. Sorry, it really wasn't the finish you guys wanted after the Xfinity win last night. So not all a bad weekend, of course, with that win. But we'll see you at Kansas for the Xfinity Series race.
All right, thank you.
I'm gonna move on a little quickly here. Next up is gonna be 2 more interviews to go. Gonna be next Bryce Benton, finished 18th. Bryce Benton, probably one of the most chaotic races in your career. You ultimately, after all of that, will finish 18th with no race points scored. You did get a couple of stage points, though, so it's not all bad. You exit tonight with 9 points scored of finishing second in the stage. But you still hold third in the standings. Just take me through all the chaos there towards your race here tonight.
Yeah, first of all, I'll own up to all the incidents. I pretty much took out like all my teammates. So I'll own up to that. That was pretty much mostly on me. I guess I'll just go through all of them. The first on camera where I turned around Cameron, I thought he was gonna go wider, but that didn't happen. So I was washing up, and he was still staying in like the middle of the track, or like around where the curb was, and I got into him. And then the one with Payson, I pretty much just have no excuse there. That was just idiotic for me. I don't know. I was getting really impatient because I knew the top 2 were gonna break away, and I felt like I couldn't let them get away, or else I would have lost them and probably lost a chance to win. But yeah, it was just stupid. I should have left through him because he was still side by side with me. He was at my door. So looking back, it was just really stupid from me. So yeah, sorry to him. Sorry to Cameron also. And it was a really calm first stage, and then the second stage was just absolute chaos. I pretty much caused all the chaos, so I really do expect a pretty big penalty coming my way, but yeah, I don't know. I want to say that none of that was like intentional. I was just pretty much not. I was just racing stupid, and yeah, I mean, I kind of got what I deserved, and I got spun around by Braden. He told me that wasn't intentional. So it's fine, and I wasn't really too mad about it because I knew I had it coming, and yes, it was a little frustrating, and then that's kind of what caused me to spin around next to Cameron on the last lap because I was getting kind of frustrated, but yeah, I don't know, it was just not the best race, to be honest. Wish it could have went better, but yeah, I'll just see what Indy brings if we even are able to race that. Considering how the penalties could go, I'm not sure. But all right, well, yeah, we'll just go ahead and hopefully we can race Indy, and yeah, if we can race there, hopefully we can do good.
All right, Bryce. Well, of course, still sorry about the unfortunate incidents that happened for you guys tonight, but we'll see you most likely in Indianapolis for the Brickyard 400 next week.
Yep.
Do one more interview here. One question for Pace and Lizzie. Got to get this done with and get out of here. In Watkins, Glen, we got the Brickyard 400 coming up next week, and some other things to decide before that. Pace and Lizzie up next. Pace and Lindsay, an unfortunate DNF after actually leading some laps tonight. This will kill your point situation. You're going to be now 15th in the Cup Series standings, I believe. Just about you're still in it. You're maybe like 10 or so back, 10, 12 or so back, because other cut line drivers had issues. Just taking me through just what happens to take you guys out of the race.
Yeah, just a really rough night for us in general. Didn't really have that much speed. I think we were P12 at best on just raw speed, and so we threw a weird strategy at it, flipped the stage there, and got the lead. Kept it for a little bit, and then we got walled by Bryce Benton. Seemed like he was doing that a lot this race. And once we got back in the pack, they were just wrecking so much that it was bound to happen eventually. Ethan McMillan tried to split the gap when Connor Havrilla was slow after doing a half spin, and he jumped off of his right rear and hit my left rear and nearly flipped. So honestly, not shocked that we nearly flipped because I know Andrew Stacy nearly flipped in Bryce's wreck. We got a ton of air too. It was just all around a really chaotic day here. Wasn't really expecting to have this many flips or near flips today. So overall, only like 10 to 15 out of the playoffs. I think we could still come back. We've still got a few races, so we'll see what we can do next week at Indy.
All right, Bryce or Cameron or Pace and Lindsay. My God. Nice job still on the run tonight. Sorry I ended with a DNF. Not going to help your point situation, but we still have 4 races remaining before the playoffs, and of course it all goes down next week for the Indianapolis Brickyard 400, so we'll see you next Thursday at Indy.
Yeah, thank you.
So that'll do it for tonight. What an insane race all around. So do you have any final thoughts, Eli, before we close it out?
Well, that was insane race. I'm still trying to figure out all this stuff that happened tonight. It was a crazy race, very entertaining race. Got very crazy near the end, but an insane race tonight. And hopefully we see this type of race, maybe less wrecks, but competitive racing next week at the Brickyard.
Yeah, of course, next week, the Brickyard 400 for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. So that'll do it for Watkins Glen Week. What a great weekend of racing it was. We hope you enjoyed iCar, Xfinity, and of course the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series tonight. So that'll do it. On behalf of all officials, team owners, commentators, drivers, everybody involved in making this league what it is, we'll see you next week, next Thursday night for the Cup Series at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Brickyard 400. We'll also see you on Tuesday night for iCar at IRP, and Wednesday night for the Truck Series at IRP, Indianapolis Raceway Park. So that'll do it from Watkins Glen International, and we'll see you at Indy next week. So good night from Watkins Glen, New York.